virtually every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimilla, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.
Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I am your host, Adam Dunn, and I think coming to the studio, actually, I got Dave Weiner rolling into town. Who's Dave Weiner? Everyone will find out.
Perfect.
He actually lives right up to his name. It's amazing. One sec.
Oh, yeah. Dab time.
Sorry, my timing was completely off. Usually I have the dab ready, so I'm not wasting a precious moment. But as you know, it's hard when you're a two-man show down here, right?
Right.
I gotta make shit right. Gotta have water. I have to get ready for the guests. We have Dave Weiner in the studio, who, like I said, most people won't know who that is. That's because he wasn't supposed to be on the show in the first place. He just happens to be in town, and he gets to sit in. Lucky guy. But he's an audio-video guy out in New York, so he will love the experience of sitting here and telling us what to do, probably. And calling in, we have Jeremy Silva from Build a Soil. It's been a long time since we haven't had him on, which is crazy because back when Mitch was on the show, he was our go-to, we don't have a show guy. Hey, we don't have a show? Jeremy Silva. He's the man. And that guy can... But actually, the good part is because we haven't had a show in a long time, when I talked to him the other day, he's like, dude, I have so much to talk about. Plus, he was just talking with his friend about coming on the show that morning. So it was crazy. It was like serendipitous.
Nice.
As we like.
Yeah, those shows always went over my head. But
yeah, that's the idea.
Jam-packed with information.
Sound guys always fall asleep. That's part of the deal. Yeah, that is part of the deal. The kid always used to fall asleep. And then we have OG Kushman calling in because he was supposed to call in last week, and he was busy with board meeting. He wears a suit now, so he's actually a busy guy. He's crazy. He's like, now he wears a suit. You have to talk to his whatever assistant. Are we? We have a little echo somewhere. I always hear echoes. Might be just me. Tinnitus. It's my tinnitus. It's the Adam Dunn Show tinnitus. I just have to hear my show running in my head. It's like horrible. Turn it off, man. It's like the true MK Ultra experiments there. So, OG Kushman is going to tell us about the fuckery that we kind of touched on with James, but James, of course, loves to explain stuff so fast and crazy that you don't even know what he's talking about half the time. So, now we'll hear it directly from the man himself, and at the same time, I think we're going to have a little giveaway of some of his beans that we were supposed to do last week, but we couldn't do it because he wasn't on the show, so get ready for that one. And that's about it. Oh, I also had a friend of mine call me. It was kind of interesting. Like, old friend from Amsterdam just landed in Denver, and he's going to some show tomorrow. Who's playing at Red Rocks tomorrow? Okay, who? Do you know?
Tomorrow, I don't know, actually.
Okay. Well, anyway, you never know. Look it up. I got to know right now. No, and in general, it's Red Rocks alone brings pretty much at least one or two people every month during the summertime that you know from afar, and they're like, dude, last week with some other friends over here.
It's Nathaniel Rateliff.
What the fuck is that? Let's see, I don't know my friends anymore. I don't know who they are.
Oh, it's him in the Night Sweats. It's Nathaniel Rateliff in the Night Sweats. It's like
there we go. More jammy shit.
No, it's like a kind of like grimy bluesy type stuff. He like cusses a lot during it and stuff, so it's kind of
grimy
cool.
Bluesy. I could see that. So my friend Marty just called me old friend from Amsterdam. Smarty Marty, we used to call. I don't know. We had a lot of names. We have names for everybody. He might roll in. I doubt it because he just came into town. But he might listen to the show, which is good. So we got one more listener. See, I'm just dragging him in by one by one, kind of like, you have to listen to the show. I will talk about you. So there you go. I talked about him. But I will get to catch up with him hopefully tomorrow. That'll be interesting. And with Jeremy also, it's like great to talk to him because like I said, he's got all these new products that we haven't even heard about. He's got guys lined up for us. I think the Rootwise guys is what he was talking about. I saw them on his site. Seems like they got a killer product. And before that start, let's see, that'll be in 15 minutes. How was your week, Mr. MTI?
It was good, man. I spent it in Arizona, chilled out there.
Which part of Arizona were you in?
Tempe, basically.
Hot as fuck.
Tempe, Mesa, Scottsdale, kind of all around
How
there.
hot was it?
Over 100 each day, for
Right.
sure. It got up to I think the hottest it got was 105 or something like that.
Okay,
but
so you were
yeah.
just in the kind of cruising mode.
Yeah.
You weren't in there during the oh, now this is hot. Because every degree over that must be crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm pretty good with hot weather because I spend all day in a 90-degree warehouse anyways. So I'm
There he
usually
is.
pretty good.
There he is, calling in right at the time we shouldn't be calling in. Why don't you go upstairs and see if our friend Dave Wiener's here, and if you could just bring him on down.
Okay, cool.
Because he's probably outside, lost, looking at the big door, he's scared. So, and then we got to pull up everything on here too, because now I have no idea what's going on. There he is. I hear him now. It's instant entertainment, folks. Don't make too much noise now, guys. You got clogs on? What are you wearing, clogs? Get over here. Yeah, you're my instant entertainment, and so you can just sit down in the hot seat and be hanging out. The wiener's in the house.
How goes it?
Good. Get up on that mic. Pretend like you love that mic.
I do love the mic.
And then yeah, I know. Well, here you go. And then again, you have to stretch that a little bit. It's a little bit weird, but I usually put it underneath here. There you go.
Sweet.
So you're in town for a show too, or something? What are you doing?
I'm just hanging.
Hey, what's going on with this mic? Hey, his mic's not on here.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah. Had you turned down? We didn't even want to talk to you.
Nobody
I
wants
was like, you don't know how to use a mic? Get in there. Get.
There we go.
No, there it is. There we go.
are. Hey.
So, are you here for a show or something like that? What are you
No, I
doing?
just decided to come out and
What?
show some love.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're here till Tuesday, I saw.
Yep. Tuesday morning.
So you got plans? You got some?
Well, tonight I'm doing that medicated banquet thing that Looper's hosting.
Oh.
Thank you.
Hal is hosting something nice like this. Is it actually driving and eating, or is it like you're going
I
to
think
spots?
it's at I believe it's at a venue.
Okay, so you're not like trying to. Whoa,
No.
that would be a bit much.
No, Barry asked me to bring a bunch of cheese, so I'm gonna go hit up the truffle cheese shop and bring down some cheese
Nice. And what do you got? You got some little Airbnb deal going on, or what'd you end up
there. Just
with?
staying with friends.
Oh, that's always
Yeah.
always the best.
Yep.
It's always the best. So, yeah, we're good. I'm glad you're here on a Friday. That's always nice. I always like having at least somebody in the studio because usually everyone's like, "Who's in the studio?" And I'm like, "Nah, everybody's calling." Usually, because we have everyone calling in. We have Jeremy from Build a Soil calling in about
Yep.
12 minutes. So I think we're gonna blast through some of these sponsor bullshit that we have to do. Because that's what you do. That's how you pay the bills.
Yep.
Got to pay those bills. But at the same time, we only have 4 sponsors, and they're all friends, and they're all good. So
Right.
it's not like we're at that level where we're doing the same. Like it's always funny whenever I listen to like Bill Burr. Everyone's doing MeUndies. Like I'm like, how come we don't have MeUndies? Like what's going on? Like,
I could be a model for that. I don't know if anybody wants to see it, but
but I could never top Bill's fucking delivery on his MeUndies shit. So it's like it'd be too embarrassing. But anyway, he literally was talking about jewel encrusted fucking sacks. And like what? He's like, yeah, you get your little
selling
sack.
it. He's got to sell it.
And it was like reading it off the thing. He's like, you will have bedazzle your sack. And he's like, oh my God. We don't have anything like that. Ours are all straight up.
Pretty simple.
You gotta have it. Right out of the gate, our buddies from New Millennium, who have been rocking this formula now for the last couple of years here in Colorado, and it's moving outwards nationwide. I got people on the East Coast I know rocking it in Rhode Island that are killing it. Like I said, it is definitely nationwide, but at the same time, artisanal in the sense of, maybe 300-400 shops right now. So if you don't have it in your local shop, you got to ask for it. Very easy to use. We've had a couple different shows based on it, so you can kind of always go back and get into the more details. But it's real simple because it's based on the seasons, so you just have to kind of go, where are we at right now? Oh yeah, we need that. So spring, summer, autumn, fall, winter flush. And you can also use the product solo. You don't have to take the whole line, even though...
Just use it as a supplement.
Yeah, like there's a couple different products. They have a really good fulvic acid one that's just like super dynamite. So you don't have to like have, you can use it if you have if you're using advanced or if you're using some other GH or whatever, and then you can just kind of see if you like it that without having to take the whole thing, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, they're looking really good. Oh yeah, I gave them that fulvic, and the fulvic that they have is derived from 9 different sources, so it's a real cover every base kind of product. And, good people behind it. They're actually, like, really a lot of feedback in the last few years. They have, like, their pro formula, so you can kind of tweak that one up and go into that sort of mode, or you can just take it as a standalone with the way they have it in their original formula, which works great, too. And when you're using the pro, it's like you're bringing in Budswell and a few other products that are just... it shows the dedication if you really need it, but it's also like for fast-moving plants, which we like. So you go to New Millennium Nutrients.com and check on there, and I swear it's coming soon. August is almost over. They better hurry up. They're gonna have to change the coming soon now to the.
No, but they got some cool stuff coming. They have a nutrient calendar, and
Yeah.
nutrient feed charts, base nutrient range, and additive range stuff coming. So that should be pretty helpful for all the growers out there trying
Definitely
to get
a
on the system.
calculator.
Well, it'll make you like not waste all your money. You're like, fuck, why did I buy so much of that? Because you didn't calculate it, man. But this will just make it a little easier. And we'll wait for him till last because he's coming on right now in a minute. So we don't want to double down. We have to go build. But what we do want to talk about is Incredibles, the best edibles here in Colorado and now in Nevada and out in Cali. So they're covering more bases, and here in Colorado they cover every base, flavor-wise, potency-wise, delivery-wise. They have also a bunch of new gummies and all sorts of different flavors that look pretty dope. I think there's some licorice in there. There's some cinnamon, CBDs, some sours.
I remember they had some banana flavor a couple years ago when I judged the Rec Cup for High Times.
That would be the whatever it is.
The extracts. It was
No, you're not talking about extracts. You're talking about the bar.
The chocolate bar.
Yeah,
the monkey bar.
Monkey bar.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's delicious.
Yep.
One of my favorite ones.
See,
They're very consistent, which
that's
is...
that is our like big, and that's the thing about the whole thing about extracts in general is that extracts and their source of their where they get their extracts, that's in-house. So then they can kind of gauge everything really good. When you cook it with different people's products, different things,
There's always
things can happen.
variables,
Yeah, and this keeps it really like consistent, which is what you want. And you go to iloveincredibles.com if you want to check out store locator, or if you want to just check out what they're up to, because they have a new menu. It seems like pretty much, it's been rolling different. Like every time I open it up, I'm like, oh,
Something new there.
New flavor. Definitely check those guys out if you're here in Colorado, like you guys are just now. Every time someone comes in, they're like, what should they do? I'm like, well, weed-wise, I'm like, I don't want to be responsible for anything. I'm not going to tell you to go anywhere because it's fucking like, you told me to go there. I do give Kind Love a lot of fucking business just because I know they're open till midnight, which is convenient because most shops aren't. So I'm like, well, if you go there, you can go later, and not be all fucking, because I know people just, it blows their mind, you know what I mean? Like, what? 7 o'clock? Fucking what? But it's just over the state, it was over the town line, so it's like literally the line, Alameda
Is
is
it
the
in
line.
it's on Alameda?
It's
in Glendale.
It's in Glendale, and Glendale lets them stay open until midnight. So you're like, oh well, that. But they have good weed. It's not cheap, obviously. But
Obviously not.
not cheap. So I never tell anybody it's cheap, but I do send enough. So I know they notice it too, because every so often I know that everybody tells them that I sent them there, but I have no real I didn't really make no deal. Made no deals, no nothing. It's like, you're giving me $1 every time. But there's not that many places here that are consistent. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. And then when you talk about consistency, you're going to talk about these guys. Seeds Here Now. Consistently, the best customer service. year after year and time after time. And it just gets better too because they get better breeders. More, they keep it kind of in the 35, 40 range. And they're backing up on everything, like as far as quality, which is huge. So if you have a seed you don't like or didn't really seem like it was what it's supposed to be, they'll replace it, no problem. They'll be like, yo, look, here, try again, kid. But also on top of that, they just get you what you want without having to give them the, oh, which one do you want? Top 3 choice. You're like, top 3 choice? No, I want that. And that's what it's all about. So you get what you ordered, and you get it quick, and you get it clean and safe and all that. So it's good. And it's also from the breeders because I'm one of them, so I know. But you get it direct. It's not like, oh, you get it from a guy who gets it from a guy. It's like, no, you get it. No. And the thing is, a couple of them, not all of them, but some totally exclusive just because it's a lot easier to let them, take care of it. And so when you do that, you get a sense of how on point they are because nobody's going to give anybody exclusive if they're not going to fucking be like making it worth their time. So
uphold the kind of value to it.
Yeah, and the fact that they filter all the, if there's a complaint, it goes through them, and then they just replace it. And if it's something really like it's your fault as a breeder, then you're gonna figure that out quickly too. It's like, well, we got X amount of returns, and so take care of that. But let's hope not. Let's hope you get the good ones. Yep. Go to seedsherenow.com, check those things out. Now, to our guest today, he might even be calling in like 4 minutes, which would be pretty awesome because that just shows you how on point we are for a not on point crew.
Exactly.
Woke up in the morning, wasn't really sure, double checked to make sure that, I actually asked him yesterday because I knew that we had already listed him and Mephisto, and Mephisto wasn't available at all, so that was a classic. Just throw the name up there, whatever. He's on. Yeah. Oh, no. You can actually start doing that with like big names.
Yeah,
it's huge. Schwarzenegger's on. Like, what? No, anyway, he said that. Didn't say which one. Jimmy Schwarzenegger. He didn't come on. He didn't come on. Wiener wouldn't really. I could have put, it was Ween, like I put Ween, and then I was like, oh no, I meant Wiener, like could have been like that. Could have been like, I thought his name was Ween, but it turned out to be Wiener.
He's just a little baby bitch.
You still doing video or what?
Me?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, is that what you're kind of, was that, because that was how I was introduced to you in New York. It was kind of like, video thing, talk to it. And then I got the impression, and I was like, oh yeah, you're more like me where you got like 18 things going on. So you're like, That's one of the things I kind of do.
I kind of do a little bit of everything. I'm definitely fallen into the production assistant role quite a bit and production aspect of things, everything from music events to cannabis mixers like that roast that we're talking about.
That one we were there at, yeah. That one. With the name we will not mention.
It's like Voldemort.
Because he might get too excited about it. Yeah, just keep the names out. Just don't even say his name.
Yeah.
He'll say it more than 3 times or we're definitely fucked.
Yeah, he'll pop up somewhere.
He will. No, he'll call in. Hey, you're talking about me. He might even call in now because he probably knows. He's like, I can't listen to these guys. The guys from New York. You got to listen to me.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, no, I've done everything from kind of band management to band visuals and music festival.
And you're from New York originally?
Yeah, originally New York. I'm up in Vermont now.
Right, you moved up up to Vermont. Yeah, that's cool. So, I mean, New York's such an easy place to sort of dabble in anything you want to do, I guess. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, it's also probably like everything, there's a certain level where you get to, and all of a sudden you realize it's either a real job or, and there's some serious fucking fuckers out there that are like doing it real hard. So,
it's very cutthroat down there.
I can imagine. And did you move out of New York just because of that kind of vibe, or?
Actually, it's a funny story. I got a fortune cookie that said, "Take a break, you deserve a rest," and I moved to Vermont because of that, and kind of started honing in on what I needed to do more because the music life can become a party quite easily. So that's where the brand that I represent and own a percentage of, Stone Sober, came from. That's kind of what we've been focusing on now, is spreading awareness of cannabis as an alternative to pharmaceuticals and basically other substances.
That's cool. And then, I mean, we've done a couple shows on it with people. I mean, and it's always like pretty obvious. It's one of those like cannabis is like the kind of fail-safe thing, which you imagine would be the most prescribed thing, but yet it was like in Colorado they didn't even fucking accept it out of the gate, and it took a little while. Mm-hmm. It took a little while for people to fucking even put that on that list of acceptable conditions, and it was like, oh, okay, well that took a struggle. Like, where was the logic in that one?
What's next? Yeah, no, I always constantly get in battles when I go to the doctor or the hospital. If anything ever happens, I'm constantly trying to be, no, it's not marijuana, it's cannabis. But if you want to just continue saying propaganda terms, it's fine.
Right. And but as a condition, because we talked on, because if people listen to the show where we talked for a minute, maybe if they can remember somehow that minute we talked when you were on the phone. How's it been recently? Has it been
the cannabinoid hyperemesis?
Yes,
I
exactly.
think I don't really buy into all that.
Do you remember that call?
I do remember the call.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Okay, so now it's all coming together now?
Yeah.
That's weird.
The keys are falling into
Oh,
place.
it's that guy. It's the guy
Cool.
that was on the show, but they just heard his name.
Yeah.
Now they're, and we even had people posting like, dude, Weeder. So,
Really?
Yeah, big fan club, big fan club.
Yeah, it's just the name. I'm just a fucking wiener. I don't know why everybody likes me so much. It
And,
must be the cheese that I bring around everywhere.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. Was it the real cheese or was it the
Well, the real cheese.
All kinds of cheese?
I'm pretty notorious for liking the lactose, as they say.
Uh-huh.
It all started kind of as one big joke because I just really liked Humboldt Fog by Cypress Grove.
Yeah.
And I brought it to a concert, and I just ended up passing it around to people.
Yeah.
And then it became, people just started asking me for cheese all the time. People I don't even know come up to me like, Wiener, where's the cheese? And I'm like, where's your name?
Right.
So it's...
Well, what's funny is in Amsterdam when, I guess I'd been there for maybe 3 or 4 years, but I had this like kind of vision where I was like, oh man, imagine if like cheese was illegal in Holland because people were so dedicated to their cheese,
Totally.
The dedication levels were so high. So I was like, had this little screenplay in my head, which I was like, oh yeah, we could do like a cheese. Like we go to the coffee shop and you pick out different kinds of cheese and everybody's sitting around. And so I had it all figured out. It was all like, in my head and stuff. And then about 6 or 7 years later, part of the movie idea that I had, which was that started in France because of the soft cheese. Everyone kind of like went off and everyone died, and then they were like, "All right, no more of this cheese." That happened, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden it happened, and I was like, "Fuck, my story is starting to happen, and no one's gonna believe that I made it up anymore because
It's like the Bill
now
Murray
it's like you have to like, and then all of a sudden like every little, because the other day I was watching a show and it was talking about how cheese acts on like serotonin just like heroin, and I was like, that is my movie, dude. That's the whole movie concept. Like, fuck, now no one's gonna believe it again. It was really like for a long time it was like I was dedicated there because I had parties. I had a cheese party, and I had told people they have to bring cheese and put it on the cheese altar, and I was trying to get like a little cheese thing going on over there, and it was also like similar where it was like the reverse where I just had it all, and then people were like, what are you doing? And I was just like, yeah, you put all the soft over here, the hard over here, and some people were like, the Italians one guy came with that worm one, with the worms. And I was like, holy fuck, all right, I don't like cheese that much. I was like, all right, I like cheese, but kind of like a few kinds.
Yeah. Only certain kinds of mold.
You do any weed cheese? Sorry, weed cheeses?
I have yet to find an infused cheese, but people have told me that you can make mozzarella at home and infuse it. But I don't really know. Yeah, I know.
It'd have to be something very. I don't know. It's kind of hard for the cannabinoids to sort of last on something that's going to go funky.
Oh,
and weird.
totally.
I mean, I don't know.
It'd have to be a small batch artesian thing. You'd have to have it sold by the time it was done, kind of deal. Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be the way, and also maybe like a spreadable
A chev would be kind of like that you could infuse easily with
Yeah.
olive oil, but
Yeah.
is that really an infused cheese, or is
No.
that cheese mixed with olive oil?
That is a cheese mix. Well, that's what almost all extract sort of quality, good quality extracts and things that like actually work are things that are kind of like
Just laced with it.
yeah, because of the fact that you kind of like it's direct, it's right there.
No, totally. And it's,
whereas when you kind of goes through the process, sometimes when it goes through the process, it's great, but
to get it suspended evenly.
but a
in
lot
your
of times
entire
it's like
thing.
yeah, a lot of times it's like
Yep.
hey, oh, there you go. Speaking of which, what the fuck ever happened to my cake?
I don't know. I gave it to the two ladies who were there, and
Somebody ate our cake. Isn't that crazy?
The one that was here the other day on the
No,
table?
No, it was his
we
birthday.
had another birthday cake that was not eaten.
I paid for that cake out of my pocket too.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it was a good
You should be
cake.
madder than me, man. I
Yeah,
guess.
I don't
You should be. I was mad because I thought, wasn't that the kind of point at one point?
Yeah.
I go like, weren't we supposed to have a cake?
Everything
and then,
kind
like,
of went out the window.
well, I know, but it was just like
It was
I thought
a
it
fun
was.
time though.
It was fine. It was fine. I had a good time. I just thought I saw a cake and we never pulled it out, and I could definitely take a little tiny piece.
There was also supposed to be dabs too, I believe.
I know it's supposed to be a lot of things. It was literally going to be the perfect party.
Yeah,
It had everything,
the Delancey you made.
all
that.
the elements of the perfect party, and then
New York City hit.
yeah, the reality check of where you exactly were and time and space kind of hit, and then all of a sudden we were kind of like, oh shit, really? We're back to that? Because the weird part was that they smoked with us during the setup,
Yeah.
and that's what made it threw us all
Yeah.
off. Because when we're setting up, we're on the rooftop, we're smoking weed,
Well, I've
and
done
everybody's
events
cool.
there before.
And everybody's cool, and all of a sudden, like literally, like the manager and the whoever came in, and we were like,
It was the lady, the
Oh yeah,
the lady in the red dress
the lady.
that came from the Matrix.
Yeah, when she was all dressed up, she came up like in her heels, and she was pissed. And
She was
fucking-
stomping. She was stomping.
Yeah, it was. And then we had, of course, Chloe, which didn't help. So that was the combo of just like really, oh god.
I
this
kind
is-
of bit my tongue and held out in the back and said,
Yeah.
"I'm the lights guy." That's when I filled that role.
Yeah.
That's where my responsibilities end. I bought your cake. I brought some cheese. I brought cheese to that event too, actually. $400 worth of Humboldt Fog Harbison, and it was so good. It was so good.
Sounds delicious.
Okay, let me send.
I'm all
Jeremy.
about my Vermont cheeses.
Sure, I don't know nothing about cheese besides I like it a whole lot. But
Yeah, like
That's
I
how I started.
nice.
Yeah, and well, the funny thing too is that because I told everybody I like cheese, and I'm sure this happens to you, like you kind of get overloaded all of a sudden, and you're like, dude, I don't even want to like look at cheese anymore. It's like you just kind of killed the thing I loved. I used to love it, and now you've killed it.
That happened.
That can
kinda
happen with
music.
everything. That can
Yeah.
happen with everything, you know.
That's
Yeah.
why I just kind of keep weed as a hobby right now. And
Yeah,
haven't really started to work at any kind of establishment.
Okay, so I have him. It would help if I sent him the number, right? That always helps on the calling in part of the deal. So let me. Do I have any power on this thing? Oh, good. So, oh, great. That's not what I want to do. So Jeremy's getting the number now. He'll probably call in a sec. So you have to get like your pencils out, and you have to be all careful, and it's gonna get all flying. He moves so quick sometimes. Like, he's got so much to talk about too. So who the hell knows which direction this one's gonna go? All right, all the power. Put all that down. Try to get on live stream. Last time I couldn't get on for some reason. Down here the internet blows. I gotta get a wired thing or something. For some reason. Hardline iPad. How lame is that?
Do you have to get a dongle for that?
I don't know. Last time it was being a bitch. Maybe it'll be better this time. So, are you going to go to out of Denver at all? Or are you just going to go up the mountains or go somewhere cool? Or just going to hang out here?
Everybody kind of keeps coming out of the woodwork.
Here we go. Here we go. Yes, sir, Bob. Mr. Silva, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing really good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, sorry about not sending you the number. I always like, whenever I'm doing the show, I look down and it's like a half-written, you know, it's written way before, like, here's the number, call in at 3:30, don't ever hit send. Yeah, and then I'm like, well, that was stupid. So, sorry about that.
It's okay, man. I need to be on the show. I know where to find you.
Right, you're like, oh, I'll have to go back and listen. So, how's How's the post-spring madness treating you now that you're in the cruise control, but yet sliding into the short Colorado season? Is it people are already stressing out about that, or what?
Yeah, people are, we got light depth coming down, and then we've got, the next season coming right around the corner as far as trimming and all the stuff that goes along with that. But the
stuff people love.
Truckloads of soil, and all of the people that are stressed out trying to plant last week kind of thing, that's all over. And so now we're getting, like you said, into more of a cruise control, but instead of getting comfortable, we're really trying to step up the quality for next year and make sure we're sourcing composts and everything else that requires to do the quality at scale. And then we've also got some new products and new things that we're always working on. So this time of year, we can really focus on that. And one of the newest things is we started a forum. I used to be on the forums a long time ago, got away from that, build a soil, and have kind of gotten away from the community. And so it's our effort to put in like a customer support back end where instead of these questions getting answered via email or privately on the phone, hopefully we can answer them in public and then keep the best answers around and make sure that people can read the same questions that most people have over and over again. So that's at forums.buildasoil.com. And it's brand new. We haven't even turned on most of the features. So if you guys want to jump in, become a member, if you've got questions, it's a great great place to ask us if we don't cover them today on the show. So
Nice. And I guess you're Shailene and Tu and everybody came down, did the tour. Sounded like you guys were at full steam then. That was a little while ago. But how's it looking for sourcing of those materials? Are you guys ever running short or anything like that? Because I know that's some of the organic nightmare of over being too good on certain products, and then all of a sudden they can't get them anymore. That's what
the problem with organics. It's one of those things that it's a blessing because it allows me to create a business in a niche that's probably more challenging for a big company to swoop up and kind of buy out, because you can't just produce all these chemicals, create the relationships, and then sell millions of dollars worth. You can only sell how much compost is there. And a lot of times there's freight, logistics, and there's not as much margin in there. And so really the main thing that drives Build-A-Soil is keeping the quality so we have repeat customers. If we had to go get a new customer every time, like a lot of hydro products, we'd be out of business pretty quick. And so last year we did have trouble. We were getting about 2 or 3 truckloads of compost in a week, and we definitely required more, and our suppliers couldn't keep up with us. And then we also had a bit of an issue with some of our suppliers having a rough winter out there in California and Oregon, just getting soaking wet, having some delayed time frames, some increased fungus gnats. And so we had to work through that, but we've come through it all stronger, and we've got some really big plans for next year. We, in fact, just finished a new soil recipe that we're going to release next week, and that has the grow stones in it for the first time as part of one of our actual lines instead of just adding grow stones to it. So that's part of why Shailene was out here from Growstone. And then actually just talked to Tu a little earlier today. I think he's doing pretty good right now. So
yeah, well, Shailene is formerly Growstone. We should say no. That's
formerly, I guess.
That's how this industry moves so quick, right? So
for sure. But it's interesting for us to be working with the product now, and we're trying to make it easier to hit that target moisture level for a new grower or for an experienced grower that's playing with different variables. And it seems like in living soil, if you get the watering wrong, it's it's a battle. So.
Well, yeah, and I guess condition-wise, it's once you get used to wherever you're at, like that's literally a whole another place when you go 1,000 feet up or a couple thousand feet down or wherever and it's like maybe you're coming out of a place that actually has humidity and you're coming to Colorado and you're like, oh wow, this is not it's these little learning curves, these little like humps you got to get over. And organic, of course, on top of that, you got kind of like where what is your local microbial life looking like, and do you have any at all, and is it sustainable, or is it going to just die when it gets there? Because there's I've seen a lot of places where it's meager and at best, and they're trying to grow plants that need a little bit more, looser, less clay. I mean, down south, especially in Pueblo, I've seen some stuff where I'm just amazed at things even coming out of the ground. It's like all crusted over and red, sort of, clay, kind of real high clay content soil and stuff. So there's a lot of challenges in Colorado, huh?
Yeah, a lot of challenges that are unique. When you read most gardening books, they talk about the Pacific Northwest and those soils. And so when we're talking about Colorado, you got a lot of people that are just concerned that the clay is going to suffocate them, and we've had farms that are working through those challenges on large acreage, and it ups the ante of the advice that we're giving as well as the people that are implementing it. Any one of these moves across 100 acres can cost a lot of money if it doesn't work. And so we're learning right along with everybody. We see some big opportunities in hemp for the future. We've got a lot of people on the western slope because of the weather out here that are planting. And so we hope to learn a lot more with, the industry as we go into next year.
And how is that? Are you, when you say hemp, are you talking like hemp, or are you talking like hemp CBD?
CBD.
CBD.
Yeah. The highest and best use right now is CBD. We're seeing a bunch of people that are doing it what I would call half-assed, leaving males out, all sorts of stuff. For the most part, everyone out here is trying to produce the highest quality CBD oil, and it's all about growing as much CBD per acre, not really biomass. And so out here, it seems like the last couple of years, most people that are getting involved, they're getting started really late in the season because they're trying to figure out how to put seed out, put females out.
Yeah.
And then the biggest issue with hemp is the equipment. If you want to spread compost, if you want to do natural methods, most of the equipment right now in agriculture is not geared towards what we're doing. And so we have to borrow equipment, find it, drive it out, that kind of thing.
Right. And have you been, so what size is the biggest ones, like 30,000 plants or something like that, or 20s, 30s?
Well, it just depends on how dense they're planting. Most of these farms are doing like 1,600 to 2,000 plants per acre. And so if you're talking a 40-acre farm and you're talking a couple thousand plants, you're 50 to 80,000 plants.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of work no matter what you do.
Yeah.
But my interest is usually in the smaller grower that's got more of a luxury to treat his plants with all the right stuff. And then how can we start to transition those ideas that work the best into the acreage without, breaking the budget and using a lot more resources.
I was going to say, a couple of those hemp farms would knock all your other growers out of the, if they decided to go that route and go for the higher quality soil and, actually kind of like give a fuck or whatever, but probably most of them don't, too. That's the other sad part too, though, is that people are confusing, in my opinion, when they say the word hemp. They're kind of like, it's like, that to me is like, I'm thinking industrial hemp. I just keep thinking like, oh, really? Hemp? You got how many acres? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, but yeah, you're doing 2,000, 2,500 per acre. Okay, yeah, I got you. So, I mean, to me, that's like growing weed, really, but it's just happens to be non-THC heavy. So
yeah, it's just growing low THC weed, and when you do it on that large of a scale, the quality, isn't usually as high as a greenhouse or anything like that. It just can't be across that much acreage. But when you're able to process it properly and get down to an oil that's being added into other products, pet food products, all sorts of different stuff, having an organic CBD oil that's being produced. It's interesting because I look out here and I don't like to see a monocrop of 40,000 plants, but I also don't like to see corn being grown and all of the planes flying over dropping the pesticides, the ammonium nitrate getting dragged through the soil. And so part of Build Soil's mission is going to be to improving soil, and I'd really like to create a business model that the small farmer can take and apply and go make money on their farm, whether it's with vegetables or hemp or hops. And I think a lot of the disconnect between the small farmer making it is that actual business plan, so they can not only produce product but succeed in selling it. So,
well, yeah, and right now the biggest problem is the bottleneck is the raw, turning it into raw material to then turn it to distillate. The distillate part, they can kind of crank through that usually once they got the raw, but the raw tends to be the kind of bottleneck point for a lot of people just because it's a little bit, even though it's like, it sounds like it should be easier, which it is easier, like thinking over the steps, but when you get to the next step, it's already like kind of there for you. You just have to refine it at that point. So it is kind of like one of those, when people start talking like 40 acres, 100 acres, and 300 acres, I'm like, damn. I'm like thinking about the poor guy who has to sit there and do that part of the job. There's certain jobs that are just like, damn, that's like, really going to be a fucking tough one. That's not going to be the easiest. It's going to sound good, and it's going to, like, the numbers are going to be off the fucking chart when you do what you could do, but but you're just pretty much sticking to the grow side, right? You're not really into the processing side too much, or
No, I learned about it all just because I want to help, be a resource. And one of the things that happens, I'm sure, especially you become a connecting point for other people.
Yeah.
And so it becomes the same here. I find somebody that's figured out how to process, built their own facility so that they didn't have to have someone else process, and they were able to save enough money off of their own harvest, turn around and now let their equipment be used to help recoup the cost of the equipment. And so it's starting to happen, but my heart's not in that really as much right now because I don't have my own 40 acres of hemp that I've done for a long time that I can turn around and show people exactly how to do it. So I tell people in hemp that are working with us, we're having success, but I still tell people that it's really up to them to apply the things that we do to scale, and I'm here to help them solve that problem. But really what we're focusing on right now is a smaller grower and making sure that someone that, has decided that they want to grow their own herb, they want to stop buying it for a couple reasons. Maybe it's expensive, maybe they found out how bad it can really go when someone else has grown your herb as far as what they can spray on it, how moldy and buggy it can actually be. Yeah. And so they want to grow. And so one of the things we just released is a full living soil support system. And so a lot of the challenge for a new grower is they're really encouraged to do it yourself everything. And a lot of times they suffer greatly because of that, because the learning curve is fairly steep day one. So we put together an off-the-shelf kind of product package consortium of all the stuff that we would give to a brand new grower to make it really easy with premium build-a-soil products to run a grow from start to finish. And then we made it all free shipping. It's 13 items. It's called the Build-a-Soil Complete System. It's the no-till bundle. Nice. And so if someone was just getting into no-till, at least they could look to that bundle as sort of a list of products that they may look into either learning how to make themselves or learning how to use or find locally. And then the other thing we did is we made it free shipping. And so one of the things we're really trying to do, a couple weeks ago, we did a big free shipping test where we did free shipping in Colorado if you spent $250, and we did a half off shipping everywhere in the United States.
It's crazy on soil stuff. You're like, what? How do you do that?
And it was really hard because, a lot of the stuff's heavy. And so we ended up losing money on some orders. We made money on other orders. And overall, on average, I'm happy to report that the campaign was a success. We made more money than we would have. We were able to give away a lot better deals than we would have because when people spent $250, on average, they bought some heavy stuff, some light stuff, and we were able to cover the shipping. But we're still trying to figure out how to get that to work permanently. Once we're able to introduce maybe a couple other distribution centers that lower our shipping cost, we should be able to activate a lower reduced shipping or free shipping above a certain spend. Right. And I think that's really where we're going to get traction, because right now the home grower that wants to buy a few items, a lot of times their shipping is almost as much as the products they're buying because it's so heavy.
So how many products would you need on the no-till, for instance, for like a typical, say, 10 by 10 room or something like that?
So if somebody grabbed, I kind of break it down by like 4x4s, 4x8s, 10x10s, just because most of my customers are doing something in that range, unless they've got something else going on. And when you get to a higher level, most of those customers know what they want, and they're telling me. And when it's somebody smaller, oftentimes they're asking. And so for a 10x10, depending on how many plants you wanted in there, the bundle I'm talking about is for about, I'd say, up to a dozen plants. Most of the ingredients will go a lot further than that, but some of them won't. And so $281 gets you completely done. You'd have to buy some soil and containers. The $281 system just supports it. And those are 13 products in there. It sounds like a lot, but that's like mulch, cover crop. And so those are portions. Some top dress, some dry amendments, part of the integrated pest management, like for foliar sprays and pests. And so when you start to consider the full encompassing, not just feeding, but actually building the soil, feeding the worms that are in there and the plants, and also covering the pest spray, that's where we got into the 13 products. And it used to be when I first started this, I would say just build the soil and just do water only. And for the most part, you can do that, but it requires usually a lot larger volume of soil. And a lot of our customers are using smaller volumes, and they're trying to get the yield up. And so, we could talk about how that all system works, but realistically, I just want to mention that's something new. It's free shipping right now. It's $281, and it gets all the products. And the unique difference is, for the first time, we built a feed schedule. I heard you guys talking about something else earlier. A lot of our customers are wondering when to do what. We've never had a feed schedule. It's always been just organic, shoot from the hip. And so now with this kit, and right now on our website, under the growing system, you can download this PDF, and it has our full complete feeding system from start to finish, using all those ingredients, as well as a complete schedule that is mirroring that, but all with do-it-yourself ingredients that you wouldn't have to buy from us. And so I think that would be a help, maybe to someone who's newer to no-till, or maybe someone who just wants to share ideas with us and see what we're doing.
Nice. And so you're thinking like I think we talked about it last time, like 7 gallon to 11 gallon, something like that. Maybe is what kind of average pot size.
I'd like to use 15 gallon as about the minimum, and that's what we're recommending in the bundle.
Right.
We in fact do free shipping on the soil and the geopot if you get the soil in the bundle, and it's a little increased price, but it allows us to keep it free shipping, and that way someone can go at least to our website, not have to pay shipping, get everything that they need. Mm-hmm. I also see one of the growers asked about a problem with no-till for me is slow veg, and can you have me address that? And so T, I see you on there. One of the things that I notice with veg, depending on your system, if you want a faster veg, we're starting to use grow stones in some of our material, and adding that extra oxygen in there, we've noticed increases that. Mm-hmm. In earth boxes, it's probably some of the fastest vegetative growth I've ever seen. And so the earth box actually has a tube that allows air to come underneath the soil, and a reservoir where it waters underneath, and we get hydroponic speed of growth there. And so I feel like if that's something you're concerned with, getting your environment dialed, and to go on top of that, in fact, if you guys follow our Instagram, over this weekend I'm going to be setting up a 4x4 no-till style geoplanter. And underneath it, I'm actually putting a 4x4 flood tray full of the large grow stone lift. Mm-hmm. And so it'll be completely full. I have the 4x4 going on top, and we're going to do a Soma-style bed where we cut the PVC tubes in there, letting the air under. Mm-hmm. And so at that point, I think we're going to see some really fast vegetative growth.
And that's something you want, like people just to kind of like give them the instructions and they build themselves, or are you going to?
Well, I don't know. I'm just as much as I have products that we offer, I'm also tinkering all the time. And so this is stuff like at my house, I'm always messing around. Here at the Build a Soil store, I actually called the Marijuana Enforcement Division. I called the local sheriffs, and nobody could give me a problem with us growing here in the store. Really? And so we put 4 plants in, and we're actually growing some genetics from Bodie. Right here in the store, and we're showing customers how it works.
That's awesome.
And we're actually doing a demo side-by-side right now where we're comparing our regular recipe with a recipe where we actually took all the peat moss out and replaced it with pit moss. You know that guy from the Shark Tank? Uh-huh. He went on there and had a peat moss replacement, so we're trying that out right now. And
it's coconut
at home,
is it coconut pith, or what kind of pith?
No, it's just like shredded newspaper. It's all recycled, and then they run it through a process of enzymes that allow it to hold moisture and nutrients, kind of like a soil amendment. So it literally looks like a bag of shredded newspaper that's been all like fluffed up and rolled. It's not so hard, and it's got a nice texture. It looks like it wouldn't work, but when you mix it in soil, it actually works. The challenge we ran into is it's got a high carbon to nitrogen ratio, so when we made the soil, it just composted at like 150 degrees right away. We really needed to let it come together for probably a few weeks before we planted into it, and so it was really slow at first. But now, things are looking good, and so we're optimistic that next year we might be able to work in some of this sustainable peat alternative that is good for the environment, doesn't have any salts, doesn't have any issues like cocoa might in our setup, and would allow us to reduce our dependence on peat moss. But right now, the peat moss side is killing it, so we're not there yet. We're going to keep tinkering until we figure it out. So.
Yeah, I mean, peat is one of those things where it's kind of like, unfortunately, the whole Earth's kind of changing where, the poles aren't exactly where they were before. Things are uncovering here and there. Things are like happening where I think where we never would have thought we had that much peat, and all of a sudden, now we got like a whole hundreds of millions of tons coming up, in certain areas in Siberia or wherever. So I'm sure it wouldn't be as bad in the long run as we kind of thought it was compared to even, like for me, rock pools kills me because it's like one of those things where it's like, really? Like, unless we have a good exit plan, this is not a really good thing to be doing large-scale production in North America yet. Europe, they're pretty smart about it because they already know what's going on, so they're just like, all right, well, put it in the roads or do this or do. They have smart exit plan. We don't really have one. We have just like you go to the landfill. It's just fucking air filters and rock wool. That's all you can see. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I feel you. No, it's interesting, that production philosophy too, because one of the reasons I was thinking about peat from a selfish perspective was that if for some reason I didn't get my allocation of peat moss from Canada, I'd be done. And so I'm interested in creating some diversity that allows me not to be so bottlenecked on one ingredient. And while peat has not been an issue to get, I don't think it's going to be an issue in the future. I could argue with people that it's more sustainable than most of the other products out there. I still am always wanting to push that envelope forward, still look for the best product for the earth, and still look for something that might even improve our soil. And so far, I'm intrigued.
I see happier plants on peat than I do on cocoa, though, normally. Like, when I'm like comparatively, like, especially, you seen that from Holland Playgrounds peat? Their peat, which is like called Supreme or something. It's really got like balls of peat, you know what I mean? Like actual balls of fucking high density, nutrient rich peat, that instead of like when you rip open a Canadian style and it's all just gray and kind of like dead, like compressed and dusty. So there's a lot of qualities of that too, you know what I mean? Where you get like the stuff that's actually got some life, and then stuff that's completely and utterly.
No, it's true, and that's why we go direct to Canada. We get a truckload. When it shows up, we cut the lock off the back, we open it up, and we put all the peat here in our facility. And
oh, wow, that's cool.
It allows us to know that it's not 2-year-old peat from the gardening supply store down the street that's been, the bags ripped open, flapping in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
And it made a big difference, because when I was building soil here locally, a lot of times out of season in winter, the only peat I could find was some old torn-up bags, and the soil, like you said, you'd open it, it was dry and nasty and dusty, and I love it when I get a fresh bale of peat moss, and it's really nice and full of life and full of acids and microbial life, so it's good stuff.
Yeah, and so let's tell us some more new stuff, because I heard you seemed pretty excited when we talked the other day, so I figured we
Well, I mean, it's exciting to me. So right now what I'm working on behind the scenes in the business is putting together a new reasoning for me to get excited about the business and share that with our customers. And so mirroring that thing we talked about with free shipping, we're really wanting to put a cohesive reason to do business with Build-A-Soil and position Build-A-Soil to be able to help other growers from within the community create products and start to bring them to the market and sort of support each other. And so Rootwise is one of those products that happen to work that way, and I hope to bring him on the show. Maybe we can come out there live and talk about it.
Yeah, we were definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, but behind the scenes, since I've seen that working, I'm starting to think about a charity that I'd like to build and develop that would be geared towards, like I mentioned, that business model for farmers to actually produce money, education for organics, and getting away from all the chemicals. But I don't have that finally figured out yet, so I'm not putting any of the money there until we formulate it. Once we've got it done, I want to be really transparent about where the money's going, how it's working, and I want our customers to know that every purchase they make, a percentage off the top, will go directly to helping the environment and actually making a difference. And so couple that with the discounted and free shipping, couple that with the fact that we're going to be redoing our VIP program to help offset that free shipping. We're going to change some of the discount tiers and offer some freebie promotional giveaways. In fact, we're hoping maybe to work with you on doing our Build-A-Soil T-shirts on the Hoodlamb Hemp, since the Farms Not Farms T-shirts worked so well.
Right.
And so, once we figure all that out, we'll have the VIP program in place, the charity program in place, so that we can actually make an impact, and then couple that with the free shipping. I feel like we'll have a really good reason for customers to do business with us and keep getting higher quality products.
Besides the fact that we're already, don't even have to sell you guys on the idea that, if people like what you got and are looking for any kind of products that you're carrying, which you guys pretty much carry the gamut of what's out there, at least, right now available that we can get. And on top of that, the service that we already know, because that's our deal. We're like, between you and James and Seeds Here Now, and then the delivery of the fucking Incredibles, and we got it covered. Everything, because that's the thing. When you have sponsors, you want them somebody who, when you're sending people there, that they're actually not like, dude, that guy was a douche. That would never be the fact with you guys, because you guys are always, definitely thinking about your customer base, which is huge, and also just like you said, you're curious, so you're always got something new going down, which is awesome. So Rootwise, even though we're going to have him on the show, obviously soon enough, but just give me a little quick overview on that, because that product, it was before you ever contacted or we ever talked to each other about it, and even before Shay ever talked to me about it, somebody else talked to me. So it was kind of definitely like one of those products which I think people know works. It seems like. So give me a little.
Yep. Yeah. So I'll give you the rundown. We've done some shows where we talked about a lot of these products that were going to be coming in the future, bacterial additives. I said that we were going to be staying away for a while until we figured it out. And so we found out that there's just so many beneficial products on the market that the whole industry, not only ours but others, are using probiotic as kind of a keyword. And everything from the grocery store, from drinking drinks with probiotics in them, yogurt with increased amounts, it's just become kind of a spin word. And so there's a number of microbial products coming out to carve out a niche in our industry, and they're guaranteeing some pretty phenomenal things, like tons of increase in yield, increase in this and that. And what I like about Rootwise, he's not making any of those outrageous claims, because he and I both know that the entire process of growing in a living soil system is supporting that soil and the biology that's within there to be the interface between the nutrients and the plant. Because without the biology, we have a whole bunch of insoluble nutrients that the plant can't use.
Right.
And so between there, guys will make teas and other things to release some soluble nutrients, but it is all about the biology. And so previously, we talk about compost teas. We talk about brewing up compost teas. And a lot of people would use a microscope to try and get the highest level of bacteria and fungus. And we all got away from that a little bit because we realized almost every tea just worked. And then as we started getting bigger scale, we realized that there was room in the industry for these beneficials that would be easy to apply, consistent, and actually have high volumes of bacteria and biology that were actual soil biology, that were how they interact in soil instead of how they interact brewed in a container. And so the Rootwise biology is made in a lab inside the United States that I really respect. They're products that he's been using for a long time and formulated specifically.
Made in a lab. It escaped.
Made in the lab.
Was escaped?
Most of them are imported from overseas.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know if they irradiate them when they bring them in. I'm not sure if the other companies that are selling us those products are messing with us, but I feel like most people start a business by saying they want to start a business, finding some Alibaba.com or somebody out there that says, hey, we produce microbes. What do you want? And they pick up the menu, they pull a few things together, and they go for it. Where the Rootwise microbes have all been scientifically tested and quorum sensed against each other to work together. So, for instance, if you look on the back of it, it actually promises the colony-forming units, and we've done third-party verification that shows that they're a lot higher. And that's really important to me because there was a lot of products that we're testing out and coming in lower or non-existent. And then couple this, this is a very...
That was a huge list.
It's huge.
That list last year or whatever came out, and it was like nobody had nothing.
Well, and that list had some problems with it because
like,
the way they do the testing is not the best. But let's just say that most of them aren't being honest anyways. I found a product from a guy that is a legendary grower. We spent some time together at the Emerald Cup and really got to know each other. I like him a lot. Everybody that meets him likes him. And he has a track record of phenomenal success. And so everybody already wants to know what he's doing, how he's doing it. And so he really did rely on a lot of biology. And so he brought the products to the market. And I was really impressed because at the opportunity you have when building a product, you can take shortcuts a lot of times that customers won't know about. Like, for instance, one of the things in a microbe product is usually a humic acid or a soluble seaweed extract that helps feed the microbes and keep them dormant, wake them up, that kind of thing. And he went out and sought out the very best seaweed extract, the best humic acid from Faust. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but at least he went through and really quality sourced everything. So from behind the scenes, as far as a business owner, customer, talking to my customer, it's one of those products that I know more about the inner workings of than any other product, so I can trust it. And then he's got an enzyme product where this same lab fed all of these microbes are all fed on organic, non-GMO substrate, which is, rare in the community, and so that's important. And then they fed them until they produced all the enzymes that they make, and they bottled those enzymes, and they're available. So now you have this microbial product, and it comes with a liquid enzyme, and when you pair the two together, you can use less of both. They work really powerful together, and one little tiny bag does like 18 cubic yards of soil. So you don't have to spend very much money on this stuff. It's actually comparatively a lot cheaper than other methods of doing the same thing. But Rootwise, when he talks about it, he has so much more knowledge from creating this product and the specifics of what all of the functions are in the group.
Nice.
And when you speak with them, it's like, man, I've been looking at this process wrong, because a lot of people are just trying to overdose these microbes and apply more than required, and then they're wondering why it's so expensive to go rebuy, and they're not getting those results where very small amounts of microbes that have billions in a teaspoon go such a long way. It's more about keeping that fire going instead of just trying to light it all on fire at once. So we want to very slowly apply this, do it consistently, and then we get the whole soil food web working for us, breaking down and delivering nutrients and making sure our plant is happy. And a lot of times in living soil, what I see is someone grows a plant that is a lot larger than the container, And that might work when you have soluble nutrients, but in organics, the biology starts to sort of lose the race and not be able to keep up with your fast-growing plant. And so by introducing these biology, especially in indoor greenhouses where monocropping, we have some disadvantages, these biological products can provide a lot of assurance against disease and pathogen resistance. Like, for instance, out here, it was really rainy and cold a little bit sooner than normal and a lot more moist in the morning. So we had a lot of people having some fungal and pathogen issues, and I feel like that these products really help with that. So that's why we're talking about Rootwise as the living soil support product. Living soil is all about the biology. And then beyond that, one of the products we're most excited about right now, I'm sure that you guys have used some sort of amino product in the past, with amino acids in it. Well, we've carried a few. We had one that was soy, and we're really scared of soy because it's pretty high percentage chance that there's some adulterated, some GMO in there, almost guaranteed. Even if it's proven to be non-GMO, there's usually some small trace amount. And so not being interested in going that route, we found a product that were recommended actually by Rootwise. He'd been using it a long time, and a lot of the big tree outdoor growers that have been doing 10-pound plus plants have been using this pure protein dry product that was out for a while, and they would do foliar sprays twice a week and really just crush it. The amino acids are building blocks, even during flower, helping link the other nutrients together. And so we did our research, we found that product, and we took it a step further and found that the owners had split ways, and there's a new product called Thrive.N, or Thrivin'. And it is a very single ingredient of freeze-dried fish aminos. And so that's been one of our favorite products in a living system to help boost that vegetative speed of growth. And
is that like hydrolyzed? Is that like hydrolyzed fish? Is that like
yep.
hydrolyzed?
It's hydrolyzed fish, but normally the liquid has phosphoric acid and a whole bunch of other stuff in there, where this is the purest form, and it's just freeze-dried with no phosphoric acid or anything. And the reason why it's important is it's totally water soluble. So you can go through drip lines, you can spray it, and it also is an immediate effect. And it's a very, very high percentage of amino acids, which are, if you think of nitrogen or if you think of proteins like a long chain, amino acids are the links in the chain. And so it's not only the micronized, but the aminos are the smallest, easiest to digest portion for the food web, which means now you're lowering the energy required where normally the plant would have had to work and process some of that through the biology to release these. Now you're giving the amino acids that are almost right there at the front door, ready for the plant to use. So that, coupled with some microbes, we've seen some really big differences in yields and speed of growth. And so that's why that's on our schedule. But other than that, it's kind of the same old thing, just top dressing, worms, using good grower practices. And so we're just repeating that conversation. I don't know. Your feelers are out there in the industry. I swear it seems like over the last couple of years we've seen a big increase in people that are looking into organic, no-till.
Yeah, I mean,
so I hope that trend continues. But
I preach it all the time, and my philosophy is that if you're going to be relevant in the delivery of your medicine, whether it be recreational medicine or whatever, but if you're going to deliver that to the public and you're not doing organic, then you're going to be lost at some point, because it's certain. Right now, people are just figuring it out. Like, but once you, like, just it's like eating food. You know what I mean? If you don't have a palate, there's some people out there who just don't. They can't taste anything. They don't give a fuck. They're going to eat McDonald's every day. They're not our customer base. Then you can have other people who actually know kind of quality food, and they're like, ooh, I'll spend 4 Happy Meals for like one snack, you know what I mean? But I'll also eat less and stay healthier in the long run too. So it's kind of like one of those deals where I'd rather wait until I got home or got to a place where I get something of quality and at least invest my money into the right sort of thing. So I feel like those little small people that delivered all those things will stay in business if there's enough of us. You know what I mean? So it's very simple. Not a hard formula. So.
No, I agree. And, there's been enough cannabis growers for a long time, and it's one of those things where you talk about tomatoes or tobacco and nobody grows their own. Even though we're totally allowed to, it's not illegal. You can grow tons of it. You can grow as much of your own tobacco as long as you're not selling it. Tomatoes, you can have 1,000 plants. But because it's so easily available and people are so disconnected with agriculture, they just go to the store and buy the same shitty red tomatoes and the same crappy tobacco. And I feel like that market's going to be there in cannabis, but there will be an artisan market where you've got people that are working hard to create a craft-made product that will command a higher dollar. And I compare it a little bit to the wine industry, where you can get some white Zinfandel or whatever, or you can actually get a $1,000 bottle of aged wine. Now, I'm not saying they're going to age cannabis, but I think that the cultivation, the habits are going to change. It's either going to be the big bulls with all the money and no profit margin, or people that are doing really high quality. And I know that there's people that are doing cocoa grows that are introducing some organics and trying to ride that line between production and quality. But really, if we can find a way to duplicate this no-till style, get production numbers up, and lower the costs, you're not repurchasing all of these products. We've got facilities on greenhouses that are producing back-to-back rounds using the same 20-gallon containers that are hitting metrics just like cocoa grows, that have cleaner reports, that have much, much lower bills because they're recycling all of their waste into their own worm bins instead of having it paid for to be destroyed. I mean, so many little angles that we can save money on within the organic realm, but it's all blown to shit when you have growers and a team that can't produce with organics. So it doesn't matter how good the idea is. If it doesn't turn into reality, then you're going back to the drawing board and back to the part A, part B, and just go do what works. And I want to avoid that by making it easier for people to have all-out, just massive success with organics. So much so that they never think about going back. But it's not that easy because there's a lot of ways to fuck it up. So.
Yeah, and it's literally usually out of the gate. That's the problem. So it's like if you once you get, because sometimes you fuck up out of the gate, and some people will just not know how to recover, which is stupid. But other people like fight through that and recover, and all of a sudden then they're like, oh, now I get it. You know what I mean? Or they get handed something. In a perfect world, you do great, obviously. And everything's
first grow. I know a lot of growers just crush at their first grow, and then after that, it's all fucking downhill.
And that's true too. That's actually more. I think that's even more the norm, right there. Is because they get
they have no bugs yet. They got a clean room.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can really go wrong.
Right.
Pretty soon, they're telling their friends. They're getting cuts from everybody. They get bugs they've never seen before, and so
it's also
it goes through this whole learning curve.
Pat themselves. Well, the second you pat yourself on the back is when it all goes downhill. That's like usually the minute you go like, man, I'm the best. Boom, go down.
That's why I love gardening, man. It's just like life.
So I also saw you were looking for new people and stuff, and getting like your staff is getting bigger than because when we first started, how many people did you have in the very beginning when we because we actually used you as a sort of test subject because you were definitely the ideal business that our listeners kind of responded really quick, just because you had everybody had heard about no-till, they wanted to get involved, and it's scary. It's like a scary leap for some people, just because it's like, what do you mean? Just the idea of no-till just is trips them out. They're like, no. It's like closed loop. It's like when you have a closed room and you have compared to a room that's got air in, air out, and it's all kind of old school, and then you got your closed room, and some people just killed it with those rooms, and other people just couldn't figure it out because they'd be like, it just makes sense, and then they got scared and they'd start venting their air out and fucking it up. So you have to
stay consistent.
Stay consistent in whatever you do, I guess.
Yeah, and that's why I like gardening. It teaches you about life. You do have to stay consistent. Your garden doesn't care if you watered it yesterday. It wants it again today. And a lot of people have one success yesterday, and they just kick their feet up. You got to put it hard in every day. You got to work. You got to hustle. And I think that's just the way the world works. Plants wake up every day and they just grow as hard as they can. That's what they want to do.
Right.
And I think that some people have that desire, some people don't. And when you find organics and you start to see that there's possibility there, you can save money, there's better quality. For me, a lot of it was lifestyle. And so if it was easier for me to start, I would have done it sooner. But for the first time, with a good-sized bed of soil, you can leave for the weekend and not worry about your buddy fucking up your nutrient feed or the pH swinging or a clog in your deep water culture setup flooding the place. And so it fit my lifestyle. But the first year, I wasn't really interested in learning the highest quality way. I was just learning, how can I get herb immediately? I'm out. I don't know anybody around here. I just moved, And so I feel a lot of people go through that. They hear about growing, and they're like, oh, man, I need an autoflower, and I need herb tomorrow. And then eventually they start saying, oh, what's the best genetics? What's the best light? And if they stick with it, it becomes something they like. They usually go off the deep end as a hobby and start dialing everything in. And so, we can help everybody with that. But when I started, it was going to the forums, trying to get questions answered, and you didn't really know who was helping you except for their reputation. So a lot of times you got bad advice. And right now, if somebody calls Build-A-Soil on our 855, or just our regular Build-A-Soil line, we got all the people here know how to grow.
Yeah.
Yep. The guy that is packing the packages, he grows better than I do. The guy that is out here at the front counter has been He's one of my first customers and was doing no-till before I knew about it. And his name's Zach. He's right here. He can help you all the questions. He's got a killer garden. And so now, all of a sudden, you got a product that you bought or maybe you didn't. You're just curious. You're struggling with your no-till. And if it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you can just go on forums.buildasoil.com, ask some questions, and maybe someone will answer it. If not, in the morning, we'll be in the shop. You can call us. Any of our employees will answer it. If not, you can message us on Facebook. Hit us up on our support at Build a Soil. Either way, we're here to help you through the whole thing so you can make it from start to finish. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of people that started growing and they just have an issue and they go back. And a lot of times, if we can move you through that, I want you to see what the other side looks like when you're able to get really good production out of organics and not spend as much money. So. Yeah,
and like you said, it's definitely, like, that's a selling point right there as far as you can go to a festival, kids. You could actually go 3 days to a festival and probably everything will be okay. Don't guarantee it because, they might fuck everything up too. But still, for the most part, like that literally, and also back in the day when you were a little bit more worried about having to maybe move your plants and stuff, whenever I had them on soil, I felt like, oh, okay, no problem. Go there, pick them up, move them. But if you have them in hydro, oof, you can almost guarantee they're not going to make the trip, So it's like, those situations can also be like a lifesaver,
Yep, I know a lot of people that put their roots down and think they're going to be growing for a while, and something changes with the landlord or something changes with their life, and all of a sudden they're trying to move plants in the U-Haul, and it is a lot harder in a hydro setup. Now, I know there's great ways to grow hydro. People can crush it doing it in hydro. They can get good at it, but what I always notice is that it becomes about the grower being good at it, where over here the plant is good at it. I'm just trying to provide the environment and be a good steward, and there comes some differences in thought when that happens too. And I feel like when people are transitioning, a lot of times they carry their fact that they had to be in control over to organics, and they start pH and everything and parts per million testing and trying to really analyze this whole organic model. And it's difficult. You start doing that, and all of a sudden the tail's wagging the dog, and you're using information that's not really helpful to our style. So
I think we got an invader on our line here. Is that James Bean calling in all on time and stuff?
420 report, James Bean.
Yeah, you can just sit back with your 420 report, Mr. James Bean. Well, yeah, I guess you can invade our space, but we're gonna also you got whatchamacallit coming up after. So,
I got to get running here pretty soon too. One of the callers mentioned my girlfriend's actually at home right now. Had double hip surgery.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
really good.
So tell us what we got going on as far as anything any crazy specials before you get off the line with us for the people who.
Cool. Well, I'm going to put in the ADS 420 code. I'm going to activate it right now.
Nice.
And then what I want to do is turn it on for the new product that I was talking about. And so if somebody's brand new, they're looking at no-till, go check out our no-till bundle. It has 13 products. It's got free shipping. We're going to do 10% off of that. So not only you get free shipping, you get 10% off. And I'll turn it on right now so anybody can use it. And like I mentioned, check out forums.buildasoil.com. You can ask questions. It's brand new. Don't expect much. And then I'd also like to get back on here with you guys and do a little more specific show where maybe we can do some questions on specific subjects. I'd love to get together with Rootwise because the soil food web and that whole interaction there, we could do a whole show on, and he's so fascinating to talk to. I think your viewers would really like it as long as we let them know ahead of time. So.
Yeah, let's definitely get him on. And next time you guys are coming across this side of the mountains, then make sure to come through the studio. It'll be awesome.
Cool. I'm turning on the code right now. ADS, all capital, 420. It's going to be 10% off. It's going to be off of the selected product, which is going to be that no-till bundle. Anything that's in that no-till bundle section, there's two products. One's the soil and geopot. The other one is the 12, the whole support system. And so basically anything in there, you can use that on, plus the free shipping. And then I'll be here to support you personally through the forums or here on the phone, whatever you need. And then, man, I appreciate you having me on the phone. Anything else I can do for you guys before I jet?
Oh, no, man, that was awesome. And we'll link up soon.
What's up, Jeremy from Build a Soil?
Yes, that's Jeremy from Build a Soil.
What's up, man?
All right, what's up, man? Nothing. I just have a lot of my happy customers, or your happy customers. They tell me, they get good stuff from you, and you deliver everything. And I guess you give better customer service than we might. And that's pretty hard to beat.
Oh, shit. Well, dude, I really want to get together because I've been thinking about synergy with a seed company, about how maybe we could do some promos and work together with that, since your product's just so much cheaper to ship,
Yeah, and I only have like 40 seed companies, maybe 700 strains, so I'm sure we could figure something out.
Yeah, there's nothing we can find there, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, good. I'm going to use this as a reason to connect with you here after the show sometime next week, okay?
Sounds perfect. Yep, Dunn's got my number.
All right, man.
You'll hand it over. But thanks for being
See you, Adam, being a connector.
Yep, take care, man. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
And good gear stuff. Jeremy's a good guy. I hear a lot from our customers calling in saying they don't, because we can't tell people, you can't germinate the gear, and so we send him his way, and he we get feedback. He takes care of them, talks to them for, half hour sometimes doing stuff. So another really good guy.
Yeah, like you only gave me 5 minutes. He gave me half an hour, bro. That guy's way better. But he also has some. I'm sure he gets some in-depth questions. Right
I'd give you more than 5 minutes if you wanted more than 5 minutes. I'm just a minute man,
Yeah.
Gotta hit it quick. I'm out.
In and out. So
In and out.
at least you sound good today. You don't sound like you're inside of a fucking wind tunnel or some bullshit. So that's always good.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I'm actually not standing in a wind tunnel, which is nice for a change, but it doesn't sound like it either, so that's good.
Good. So tell me a little bit about what other specials you got coming up with Seeds Here Now, because this is your big soapbox moment. Do you have any before we get OG Kushman on? Is he coming? Is he really going to come on in 5 minutes, or is he going to be just like forget about it?
No, I had a big talk with him today. I was like, dude, you made me look like a douchebag last time.
Well, that's not
set up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so he is calling in 5 minutes. He is calling in 5 minutes. You're saying?
Yeah, I'm texting him right now, but make sure that because I told him, and I sent you the text, and he sent me back, and he was like, hold on for 10 minutes. I was like, no, 3:20 is 3:20. Like, what part of that? I can't push it back 10 minutes. The show must go on.
Yeah. Well, he can. He can come on in 5 minutes or whatever. So there you go. Tell him.
Of course.
Tell him. Call in. Here's the number. Whatever. Give us the story again. The thing is, you told the story, but you had a terrible connection, and you were trying to like jibber jabber over a whole bunch of crap, and I was like, no one's gonna get any of that. So might as well get the real deal.
Oh God.
What? He's busy?
No, me just jibber jabbering and telling stories.
you were jibber jabbering, and the thing is, you were talking through like a sock or something like that, or tube sock.
You were supposed to be on the phone.
It was like, I was like, all right, I guess we should have the rest. So what other specials you got before we get OG on here? What's your?
So just a ton of specials on the website, of course.
Yeah.
But everything, we've got a lot of buy and get ones, and so I know that we've got your stuff. TH Seeds, which is normally $55, $60 a 10-pack.
Mm-hmm.
We've got those buy two, get one free. So that brings them down to like $33 a pack. So
33. Just keeps on going forever. Yeah.
Forever and ever.
Dude, it's infinity, bro.
It's purgatory.
And
Thurgatory.
and Jeremy reminded me too. We're gonna set you up a code, and we'd like for all your guys to use it as well, and you guys start pushing it on your show. But we're gonna ADSI 10. So anybody types in ADSI 10 on Seeds Here Now, you'll get 10% off your entire order.
ADSI.
So you can pushing that code.
Getting all international on this now. Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
Aye. And who else? Who else you got showcasing? How those drops go last couple of weeks with you had the exotic drop and all those. They crushed it.
Exotic drop went great. We just restocked that. A lot of people are sleeping on the Trilogy strain that he has.
Okay.
And the Trilogy is Starfighter, the cube, crossed with his new LAOG, Triple OG.
Uh-huh.
And so it's just two big boys cross each other. So I was like, damn, that's the thing.
Right.
And of course, he's got the Cocoa Puffs, and all this stuff is just really solid. And I got gifted 6 jars of like the milk and cookies, and what else? Like I got donkey butter, a couple other strains that are just. He's a phenomenal grower. Don't get me wrong, but like you've got to have the right genetics before you're even able to achieve those end growing results. And he's got phenomenal genetics, and his end results. I mean, Well, we all are egotistical, but I don't think I could ever grow the weed. It's like, I was just like, damn, look at this stuff, and it's way manicured. It's so tight, but and then just dense. Everything's just super, super dense.
Wiener's out. Wiener out. Wiener out.
I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, it's
I
like
gotta go buy some cheese.
Wiener's got to go get cheese.
Nice.
Cheese for his wieners. We need wiener cheese, man.
Wieners and cheese.
Wieners and cheese,
so.
man.
We also just did the big ethos drop,
Mhm.
and that has been huge for us. We have full restocks of those coming in right now, or by the end of the week. But he did the lemon. He re-released the lemon OG and the Snowball S1, and then we got the Lime Killer R1, the lemon OG Haze R2, gold cookies, form cut cookies, ethos cookies. See, fighting there.
A lot of cookies. Cookies on cookies
Crescendo.
on cookies.
Cookies on cookies. Which Crescendo R1, but they're all fin stocks. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot of people that just want to throw sticks in the ground and not have to worry about it are going to light those up.
Right.
The Colin OG S1 is out. Of course, we did the other Colorado drop last week as well. Still got a couple of those, but nope, I'm sure those are going to be gone. But that guy flies his stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So we will have the very last packs of Chris's gear when he comes on in a minute.
Did he get back to you?
Not yet.
Oh, it's going to be no show. No show.
No, we're
Chris.
good. We're good. Oh no.
No show. No show. Yeah.
So, so why don't you give me 3 minutes? I'll three-way them and call you back.
Sure. Go for it. You just go
Because
for
I
it.
know when the bean can ring.
You three-way that one. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. We'll all do dabs, and we'll all do dabs while you, yeah. See you guys. Wiener out. Wiener out now. Clogs and all. So, was there bass from
I got you
before
out.
coming through again, or that doesn't really bother anybody? It was just the sound as the mics last time was terrible?
No, I just think with a flat EQ,
Yeah.
everything's was kind of
You've
bassy.
been
I think.
smoking all day, Don. You've been smoking dabs all day.
Smoking who? No, just we have a bass from upstairs next door kind of thing going on. You know.
I cut it about a
Something
quarter,
loaded.
and it seems to help a lot of people's issue with
Totally
that.
got
Okay,
that.
Hello?
Yo.
Oh, is that Chris? Oh, yeah.
Yo.
How's it going, guys?
Hello. How's it going, man?
Can you hear me? How you doing?
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Am I cutting in and out?
No, you sound better than James. So that's good.
Yeah, sound better than me.
James good. James gets like he's in a hole. He's in a K-hole for 1 second, and then he's back, and then he's up and down. It's like it's weird. What are you doing?
It's a horrible drug.
It is. So we talked about your.
What's going on with Source?
We talked about your
Hold
issues.
on 1 second.
Oh Jesus, what's he doing? Dishes? Oh,
You never
shop.
know.
Here we go.
Changing waters.
Here we go. People forget.
Hello?
Yo, you're back.
Yeah.
All right.
So sorry we missed you last week on Friday.
Yeah, I was just saying
Yeah, I was in.
You were a big meeting, power meeting.
Yeah, I was in meetings. Been in meetings the last
Did you have
couple weeks straight.
Did you have a suit on? Were you wearing your suit?
Yes, sir. Yes, I was.
Okay, so then it was a real meeting. It was a suit meeting. It was not even just like I'm having a meeting.
real deal.
I'm sitting around doing nothing. I got you. Had the suit on. You were the new Chris. the Chris.
Yes.
Chris 2.755000132 unit.
No, now you're giving them a summer number.
Oh no. Don't do
So how are you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm
Good. I was telling these guys last week about the fuckery that happened to you that Say had transferred to me that we had talked about, and so, but I guess I didn't explain the story quite nearly as well as you could have, so I had to wing it. So if they don't like my story, if they want to hear it from the man.
Yeah, well, you know, it was a little mumbly, jumbly, and all over the place. You can think about it. James tried to tell your story.
Agreed.
Do you really want that? Nobody wants that.
No, I mean not all. I'm hearing it once, so.
Well, yeah.
So we want to get you back on the phone that we can tell it.
And then I do have a sort of thing we can use for a giveaway later if you want to do a giveaway, James.
Oh.
Like we talked about.
Some kind of game?
But it's going to crash the system because it's so fucking awesome, right? We already know that. Guarantee going to crash the system. Just putting the image up is going to guarantee crash our in-house system. We just know that, so we'll do it at the end, so we don't right?
Okay.
I guess. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Because it's such a heavy, cool thing.
You could take the image up on your Facebook page and make all your listeners to their Facebook page and look at that image. That way you get all those Facebook page hits. All right.
I could do that.
20th person to call in gets Adam Dunn's personal home number.
Yeah, great. That'll help. No, I've already got it all set
Yeah,
up.
right.
I've already
He
got
hasn't
it.
paid his phone bill in like 3 months.
Yeah, you
That's why he's
know,
not here.
it's like, you're like, that ain't, oh, man. So, anyway, tell us a little bit about the fuckery that happened. Everything was going great, life was great, and then, blam, it all happened, right? Usually what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's just life, man. That's what happens.
Right. But, I mean...
Shit started getting weird.
Yeah.
I lost my spot, fucking got $100,000 worth of seeds stolen out of my actual home.
And then they left your TVs and shit, right? Like left your TVs for cash?
Yeah.
You gotta get so it's a straight fuckery ripoff, just trying to get your gear.
Yeah. Just a gear snatch, that's for sure. I mean, they got everything that I had that was available. All my seeds were not packaged.
Uh-huh.
All my bulk. And weren't really labeled either, so they got a whole bunch of fucking really cool nothing.
Yeah, cool shit. They don't know what the hell it is. So I was trying to explain last week that we had the last remaining packs and Archive has the last remaining packs.
Yeah,
so you want to buy from trusted distributor. That's why you buy from trusted distributors, so you don't get bullshit. But we have the last remaining packs, and the chat gang, if they see other packs out there, other Source Genetics gear that's not his packaging or didn't come from one of us, let us know. You know what I mean? Let's hunt this guy down and try to get a lead on him.
Yeah, 100%. You guys in Archive are the only people that has any seeds of mine at all. I do everything hand to hand, patient to patient myself usually.
Yep.
So
and then,
if it's not from me, it's not from one of you two, it's got to be a fake.
Yep. So, and then we'll get you some all new packaging on your next release when we get that ready to go. So it'll all be done.
Yeah, I'm embarking on a pretty crazy project right now, so it's probably going to be a little bit before I get another release out, at least 4 or 5 months.
I got to go jack the prices up on your seeds now, damn it.
What's that?
Now I got to go jack the prices up on your seeds. So, what kind of project are you working on?
I'm not really at liberty to speak about it, actually. But I'm delving into the corporate world of cannabis, let's say.
Interesting. Very cool. So I know that you've put in a lot of groundwork, moving shit back and forth back in the day.
Wow.
You know, it's in my opinion, and you can mark my words down on this one, that big money is coming. Big corporations are coming. We all know that. And I figure if I can build a team of like-minded individuals like myself, with the corporate backing that some of these people provide and the structure they provide, I think the sky's the limit with the quality, clean medicine that we're going to be producing. So by attacking from the inside out, rather than standing there and saying, "Oh shit, the corporations are coming," I'm stepping up, and I'm going to set the bar. We are going to set the bar. I'm not at liberty to say the name now, but you guys will hear about it soon. I'm damn sure of it.
I'm sure Adam would love to have them on the show when they want to release their stuff.
We're well stacked and well qualified. It's pretty crazy.
All right, so I just posted it on the Adam Dunn show, so there you go.
So,
it's the pick 3. It's the pick 3 Chris Casas is off my lineup. So
you got to get all 3 of them.
You got to get all 3 of them, of course.
You can't record my IP.
Yeah, of course. This is only...
My lawyers will be in contact with you.
I'm sure they will. I could have just put.
It's okay. I only sue for like an eighth a week, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep me happy for an hour or two, and I'll forget about it.
That's
It's funny you bring that up, but there was more fuckery last week than in Portland. This company, Hippie Crack Genetics, thinks that they just bought like 5 packs or 10 packs from me last year, and they just bred them. They inbred them, just took a male, took a female, made an F2. And then we're at the same show as we were at. We're selling them, and it just cut and pasted all the info off of my site, and just cut and pasted the pictures, and we're just reselling OD's quantum as F2s. And they thought they had no problem with it. They're like, no, well, this is
James.
weekly.
James.
Okay.
Welcome to the industry.
Oh no, I know. But I'm just like, that's fuckery. That's horrible. Why? You're fucking your customers, and you're fucking that breeder's brand, his name, and like, I was heated. I was pissed.
Yeah, there's a couple companies that do that with some of my stuff. I don't even pay them no mind, man. Everybody's got to eat.
Yeah, that's what the big guys say. Like, Crockett. I guess there's actually a farms.
Chat on.
I'm definitely not a big guy at all. You know what I mean? I don't consider myself one, but people do try to do their own things, and if they don't want to give any credit or anything, that's fine. I don't care. I'll know where it comes from.
Yeah, especially now with all the philo stuff.
You use certain strain names in products, and I name those specific strains, so it's like, go ahead and make a fool of yourself all you want. I don't care. It doesn't hurt my bottom line. You know what I mean?
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, what do you got? What you sent me was some. I know I got some monster cookies, some of the Schmolians.
Schlem's, Cookie Monster Mango Haze, Not the Forum Mango Haze, Circulated OG Mango Haze, which is a really awesome combination there. There's some gnarly things coming out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And then
these are all regular. These are all regular. These are all regular seeds, or any feminized stuff, or all regular.
All regular, man.
All regular, bro. All regular, man.
Good. He's not on the film stock train yet at all.
No, I saw his fingernails at the last show. They weren't totally black yet. They're dirty black. They were dirt black. They were not blackened like with nail polish yet. So we understood. It's a telltale sign. We already know. We know what's going on, right? Does anybody know anything?
What was that?
What? Everybody eating peanut butter out there? What's going on? Everybody like on a peanut butter? Like, dude, I just ate a giant. Anyway,
I'm eating bacon and eggs right now.
I just said your fingernails were just dirty black. They weren't not necessarily turning black yet, so you're okay. We haven't started feminizing yet.
My fingernails are clean as hell, bro. I said on the board of
I'm
directors.
just kidding. It's a joke. Anyway, it's an inside joke. Me and James only know. Only James, you understand? James doesn't understand even the inside joke that he doesn't get. Oh well, never mind. So, besides the cleanliness of your fingernails, Kushman, because we know that.
It was on mute.
Oh my God! It was on mute. He was laughing his ass off. There you go.
Totally laughing on mute, man.
Oh, see, that was like, geez, hanging. They're just like leaving me hanging. This is what James always does on the show. He sounds like he's doing all 9 different things at once, which you know he is. So that is the thing. You there? You back? No. So, OG, what's going?
Is you back, Chris?
Chris is back.
I'm just waiting for you guys to talk about normal stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Okay, we're done with the fingernails. We're over that. We got over that. Let's move on. Let's move on to normal stuff. Not feminized. That's good. That's where I'm at too. So,
see what happens. See what happens, bro. I put a fucking suit on, and now I'm serious about shit.
I know. Now you're all boring and shit. You used to be so cool and easy going.
Great.
No, you're always grown.
Where's the tie-dye OG Kush, man? We need the tie-dye OG Kush, man.
I know, and we don't even see you when we know you're wearing a suit. That's the worst part. It's like not even like we can't even see you. You could even pretend you're not wearing a suit.
You call me on a Friday, man. Why don't you have a special festival series Adam Dunn show? The next time I'm at a festival, like fucking higher than wind, you know?
Well, where are you going? What festival are you on? You must be on your way to or from one, right? I mean, that would be.
I'll just talk to myself the whole show. You guys don't even have to be there.
Oh yeah, that would be easy enough. And we just put a little clip on your visor of your crystal, next to your crystal on your visor. We'll just stick one. Boom, done. You wouldn't even know it's there. Crystal camera.
Yeah.
Crystal
next time
camera.
I'm really high, I'm just gonna talk to myself for like fucking half an hour and tell you guys about it.
Or just do Facebook Live. That's what else does.
That is a show. Yeah, you just do that and see how much we want to watch it for like 35 seconds. But in general, no, I would actually watch. Actually, I would watch. You'd be more fun than most. That is for sure. Now that's not serious though. Let's talk some serious shit because you're wearing a suit. You want to be serious. So, what's all this corporate? What's all this corporate? OG Kushman, you going up? You're blowing up? Billboards, things coming down. What's going on? Tell me.
Yeah, man. I explained the gist of it to you guys. You know, the industry's changing, and if we can set precedent,
right,
and really lead the way, others will definitely follow, and that's the way it has to be, man. Or else we're gonna wind up smoking a bunch of fucking garbage, dude.
No, I mean it's already happening. You see it. You see it quickly, as fast as it grows. And if it grows too fast anywhere, it gets turned to shit right out of the gate. Some states don't even have a chance. Other states, it's greed, you know what I mean, or whatever. And then it's just like, it's also that the extract market is just killing it too because people just don't care anymore. They're just kind of like grow it, extract it, harvest it early. Love's kind of getting lost, you know what I mean? It's turning kind of factory, which is what we all dreamed about and feared at the same time, you know what I mean? None of us really wanted to admit it, but we all kind of wanted to see the giant factories, and we see it, we're like, oh no, this is horrible. It's like watching, a thing you kind of thought about, but now it's out of control. So that's the way I look at it. But I understand.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse for us better. That's for sure. But trying to lead it from the front, I think we'll be all right. Especially with some of the people that I put together and some of the people that are on my team already.
Yeah. Well, that is what it's all about. A good team is
we pretty much have an all-star team of all all-stars. Looks like
the all-stars of the all-stars is what you're trying to say. You're trying to double all-star. You're a double all-star. Yeah. They're the all-stars of the all-stars. Okay, I got you.
I'm actually managing the team, bro.
Well, now I feel like 100% confident that you are the all-stars of the all-stars. Are you guys going on the road, or are you just sort of sticking to one spot, or what are you doing? What's the plans? Because it's big country now. That's the crazy part about it is every time you turn around, you don't really want to lock yourself into somewhere knowing that this next thing might happen once you get to a certain level. Because things are like some states, the rules are maybe sound good now, but by the time they actually get into enacted and you actually have a product on the shelf, who the fuck knows? You know, it's like the shit just they can go any direction.
But with all due respect, you're talking about California. We set the direction for the nation. We're the 6th largest economy in the world.
Yeah,
it's not what you guys have experienced. This is way, way, way different.
Oh yeah, no, California, of course. I mean, that's going to be the next, but it's also going to get. It's the next behemoth, but it's also the next regulated out the ass kind of thing where people are going to get frustrated as fuck because they're going to make it so there's no, like we already know, no mom and pa's. They'll be gone. Everything will be corporate, and we'll, like you said, we have to lead a little bit in, but at the same time, there's going to be so much out of our hands that. And, if you want to protect your name and things, it's expensive. It's like one of those. We're going to do a special in about 2 weeks, I believe, with a chick who did an article in GQ, and she's like, it was like, Phylos and people we already know in the article, but you can see how it's already getting to the point where they're all just like salivating on the sideline, waiting to pounce on all our shit. We know that. So it's going to be a almost unfightable battle in some directions. You just have to kind of like, make your stake and make people know who you are and what brand you are before. If they directly steal it, yeah, you can do something. But if it's like just stomp all over it, which is what they're going to do, in a lot of ways, I think.
That's kind of what we're already starting to deal with it. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. There's not a lot I can say without going too deep into subjects, but
Well, yeah, people literally don't have a fucking clue, so they just look on what seems to be working for someone else, and then they're like, oh, they'll hijack almost anything, your name, your identity, your whatever.
I mean, 2 months ago, I had a basic comprehensive plan in the direction that I was going to take my company. When legality hits here in California, and then I was invited into a crazy meeting, sat in a group of intelligent, awesome people that really have a vision of it's an amazing vision, you know what I mean? And then once you get the scope of what's really going on and how it's going to be, if you don't join the right team, it's like Jesus, it's like being in T-ball. It's being in T-ball. The next week you're standing in front of Henley Jensen pitching. You're in the bottom of the ninth. You got to hit a home run. That's all. That's the only choice you have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all you've ever played is T-ball. Mm-hmm. If you're not adapted, if you're not ready, you're getting your ass struck out.
Right.
And you're getting left in the dirt.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. And that's going to happen a lot across the board.
This is my eyes have been open in the last couple months, and I've been given an opportunity, and I'll be damned if I don't die before I carry this plan out.
Right. Well, I mean, it's
a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm going after it like 100%.
Well, California is definitely the big prize, and at the same time, to me, I like the other little places that haven't seen it ever, because it's always like, what? But at the same time, the rules change in those places so fast. Cali's just going to be, I think, a clusterfuck between the reality of the shift from people growing up in the hills and having, making their money that way, compared to people down in right away, being wherever ag land is in proper Central California and ready to ship it out, and trucks ready to pull in and pull out, and just once it goes federal, it's kind of over for all the smaller farms, which were huge farms back in the day.
Without getting too deep, what goes on in California, should California succeed, and it will, we will set the pace for the rest of the nation. Our regulations will get ran into the other industries. We will see this happen.
So you think Cali's going to separate financially?
What's that?
You think Cali's going to secede from the country?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. They just said they were going to secede. I was like, damn, there's a revolution going on. Revolution on my air. I was ready for it. I was ready.
What I'm saying is through compliance and proper avenues, let's say, the laws can be changed and made by us on the forefront as it happens. If you're not working in a compliant direction, you might as well just stop, because with no compliance, there is no cannabis industry.
Yeah.
There just isn't.
Well,
that's all there is to it right now.
Well, right now, too, the up until, let's say, realistically about 5-6 years ago, it was almost all self-regulated in a weird way, and it was like
well, that's what I'm getting. You watched it happen in Colorado. You watched people get eaten up and spit out.
Yeah.
Some of them are friends, and it is what it is. Some of them adapted and are still leading the industry, and some of them haven't. Some of them had to reinvent themselves in other parts of the industry.
Yeah,
it's crazy. If you don't prepare and you don't have a proper team behind you, you're not going to succeed.
Well, also, I mean, you got a lot of growers and a lot of people who actually were pretty successful at what they did, kind of did everything. You know what I mean? They didn't have maybe they had one guy that helped them out or something like that, but for the most part, it was an all-in-one package. And then when you get into the reality of doing a business, you kind of like, all right, you're probably not also good at business. You know what I mean? You're really good at that, then you might want to stick to that. But then also people want to, get into the business and spend their little nest egg that they've held on to. That's spent in the first 6 months, and there's like, shit, okay, now what? So there's a lot of like disasters, and then they get picked up by the bigger guys who are now the smart ones, who are probably the same guys that you were sitting in the room with, but at the same time they probably have nicer ideas, but at the same time they're also just scooping up all the properties and making them into like big, conglomerates, and that's cool, but it's at the same time also a little scary because it's like, the level of growing gets above 1,000 lights, and you're starting to, it's pretty hard to have consistency and like, everybody's feeling like they're getting the love, and so it can happen, but it's also like the scale starts to get a little bit crazy. So, are you working like?
Yeah.
Were you thinking about that at all, or the scale?
Just a little bit, I guess you could say. You mean like those things that are on the outside of fish, right? Scales?
Yeah, exactly. Those things, shiny things that taste terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, the scale. I mean, like you said, you get left behind. I mean, but I don't think any of us really are efficient above, like, as a grower, above like 200 lights, and then you really start to get like by yourself. Okay, I'm like way like can't even like pay attention to these things, because that was always like that was like the big rooms back in the day. Nowadays, it's like it's just a little. That's my veg room. You know what I mean? So you're like, holy fuck.
With proper planning and a team behind you, anything's possible, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think but a lot of people don't have an understanding of. Sometimes they overdo it. Like here, there's guys who have like way too many growers. You're like, how many people coming in? Like, and then it's like a guaranteed bug infestation, because a lot of those guys are growing at home and bringing in bugs, and then there's like so many. There's no, nobody's gonna say they did it. But are you doing any? Are you actually growing on any large on any kind of things right now? Or are you just kind of helping oversee?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I've run a couple large rooms myself.
Right, but
nothing giant. But I mean, myself, one person.
Yeah.
And one helper, and we knocked it out of the park. Yeah. But this scale, no, I haven't. No. And frankly, I just look at it like you said. It's all scalability. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's all thinking on an exponential level.
Right.
You take a plan, you apply it to B scale, and you just apply the plan and execute the plan.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think right now too, the things that when I was resisting the whole time when I lived in Holland, which was the Dutch way of thinking, which was way too big, and like they always wanted to do acres and acres of greenhouse and have tulips or whatever, and put their light super way up high, and like still manage to pull out these beautiful plants. And I'd always be walking through like, this is kind of crazy, you know what I mean? And now it looks exactly like our grows, like to the T, you know what I mean? Maybe a little lower and a little tighter on the light formation, but for the most part, exactly the same, because at a certain point you got to give in to all your fancy things and kind of like
that's
reality.
Well, that's where without getting into that's where our industry is headed. Mm-hmm. A legit agricultural industry, mm-hmm. but with cannabis, and it will have two arms. It will have a medical arm, and it will have a recreational arm.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and the hemp side is also huge too, which is like that.
But what would you do with 480,000 square feet, Adam?
Right. I mean, that's like, 150 is like already when you're like in a Walmart. You feel like you're in a Walmart. You know what I mean? You're like, what the hell? And that is just, is there enough weed grown in California, you think, after like 5 of these kind of people around? That's nuts.
This market's a lot larger than you're even considering, though. You got there's again, I I can't talk a lot, man. But it's on a scope that you're not really thinking about.
Well, I mean, of course.
If you consider that all 4 or 5 of the legal recreational states outside of Alaska, mm-hmm. all the recreational markets all fit in Southern California.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. It was like 14
You know
million
what
or something like that.
Our state's pretty huge.
Mm-hmm. No,
So,
it is.
I mean,
It is. It is. I mean, it's an.
The scope. The scope you're thinking of is it's just not big enough.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't thinking big enough. I was thinking about attacking, with my plan that I had, and I realized it's like putting breath drops in the ocean in Japan and taking a drink of water in LA and trying to believe that you're tasting that 2-minute breath drops you put in Japan.
Right.
The scope of it, it's not even a drop in a barrel. It's not a drop in a lake. It's not even a drop in the ocean. It's fucking crazy.
Right. Yeah, I know. And then that limits. I mean, you tell that to Jeremy, who was our one of our sponsors, who does all the organic stuff. He's like, Jeremy, I just got like 480,000 square foot spot. Just got to do it all organic. Just got to start filling it up. You know what I mean? It'll be like, fuck, it would take you so long and to establish it. I mean, it'd be a beautiful thing once you got it done, but
well, of course, you got to understand a project that size rolls out in seconds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you're not doing one large.
There's not a 468,000 square foot harvest with fucking 100,000 trimmers fucking naked fucking sweating their asses.
Right. No. It would have to move like a Ford assembly line or something, where it just kind of rolls in and rolls out and be.
Now you're kind of getting it.
Yeah, of course. I'm not gonna tell everybody your secrets, bro. No, but in general, yeah, we have to start thinking differently because
I'm not going to tell everybody your secrets, bro, on the radio show.
On the radio show, live. No, but in general, it's kind of where I've told people from the beginning, like, we're going to get to a certain point where you just have to have like X amount coming off the assembly line every day, and you have to have X amount going in every day, and you just got to feed it like that, because if these start growing like you're in a 10 lighter, you know what I mean, and have a whole bunch of little rooms, and you can do that, and it's good for quality control, but it's also fucking a bitch for timing, you know what I mean? Whereas once you get into you have a 10-week shoot and an 8-week shoot, and you know what I mean, like kind of time your shit. You'll know.
It's like I said again, scope. Imagine if you had a plan to go hiking. And then imagine if you had people that planned every step that you're taking and which kind of rocks you're going to take them on, what the composition of the dirt you're walking on, and as it changes, what composition changes as well, so that they can make sure the feet and the shoes that you have are constantly shielding you at all times, as opposed to just going hiking.
Right. That high tech. Yeah, of course. Well, it has to be. I mean, it has to be thought out. If you're going to go that scale, you have to start really thinking about that one, because even with, and that's literally when you could save somebody, tens of millions of dollars just by steering them in the right direction with the right thing. Because if somebody came in there and, sold them on some bullshit, you'd be like, all of a sudden, like, really? You just put like, because I've seen some.
It's basically like a guided hike tour, and then like a non-guided hike tour, if you will. Because the guided hike tour would be like, oh, here's your boots, here's your this, here's your this, here's your this.
Uh-huh.
So the non-guided hike would be like, here's my sandals, and I'm going up in the hills.
Right.
I think that's what kind of.
It's like a combination. It's actually like a combination, because I know where to hike and I know how to hike. I've been hiking all my life. Huh?
The old hiking analogy. I like it.
There's certain areas I haven't hiked, certain terrain I don't know how to handle. There's certain methods that I don't know.
Right. And
being a student of this game and never a master, I'm always learning and I'm always up for a new challenge. And this is the next frontier right now, dude. This is Star Trek, dude. This is like
Dark.
No one's gone before us in the area that we're going right now. Colorado has, Washington has, Oregon has, but the scope and the direction that we're going, nobody's gone there.
Very cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, the world is luckily going in that direction. So I mean, we got other places, but I mean, in the long run, I mean, Cali's always been the biggest market and the smallest, with the kind of the longest history too.
I have to ask you a question. Is this show archived?
Of course, it's archived, so we can watch back and say, "You were totally wrong, bro. It was the worst."
This is what he called it. This is what he called the home run right here.
No, there was a line you said a minute ago that I would like to play back for some people.
Oh, nice.
What, did I say or he said?
If you come in, you can save them tens of millions of dollars by steering them the right way, as opposed to douchebags that stand up there and sell their snake oil with charts and bullshit.
Right.
My knowledge in this corporation is indispensable, and I have people that are with me that vote on these things that have that same knowledge. Like I said, we're all stars. I'm not the head. There's a million heads next to me. Mm-hmm. They all stand next to my shoulder, the same tall as I stand. So we make these decisions all with the same mind, and it's just crazy, man. I'm blessed to be with a team of people that are all intelligent, are all heavy hitters, that all have that will to change this industry from the inside the right way. The right way.
And your level.
Right. I'm seeing if we have a winner. I think.
And it sounds good for you, since you had a series of juicery things happen to you. I know you had some issues in Spannabis. That was some bullshit.
Yeah, man. I've had a lot of bad luck, dude. But you know what?
So it's nice that it's coming your way again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It really is. It's really good to be able to take a deep breath and focus on what needs to be focused on instead of worrying about little petty shit,
Yeah. You get the bigger picture. It sounds like you've definitely found what you believe is the bigger picture for sure.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. I have cement feet, dude. I don't move for anybody. I don't move in any direction unless I think it's the full direction to move in.
Winner.
And I'm...
So we have a winner.
I'm on it,
announcing by
for
MT. Yeah, of course. I mean, of course. Who's going to be on there faster than fucking fast?
Buck Russell?
So the winner here is Philip Michael Rodriguez.
Philip Michael Rodriguez, you're the wiener, man. Wiener. So what do we win?
All right, so he needs to contact email info@seedjournal.com. Refer to Dusty and the Source Genetics Pack. He's the winner.
Nice.
And then we will get that up to him.
See, that was it. That's all it took.
Yep, boom.
Tell him if he wants to let him know what pack he wants right away. While I'm on he can request some info about it, and I might answer.
Might even answer. The talking head himself will talk. So it was It was 211, and it was.
That's what I'd like to get out of you. Some information on your males that you used, and some information on the. I know mango. I think mangoes are just coming back right now. Like Unity had some mangoes, and they flew. Your mangoes fly, and so I think we might be seeing a mango uprise again. But
mango
could you talk about
uprise.
some of those and some of the classes that you used?
For me, it's just always about trying to stay a little bit ahead of the curve and not try to follow any kind of patterns or trends. And at the time when I decided to go about this line, everybody was just doing the same old. So I decided to I think initially 12 or 13 different indicas, and I went to Mr. Nice. I got 3 packs of seeds. I went through, I think, 50 seeds. I picked a male that I thought most represented the haze seed dominance in the mango haze that I was looking for. A big, nice, open structured, well branched, thin leaf cultivar. Great studly looking plant. Great, 14-inch flower structure. Just a great plant. And I took that to about, like I said, 12 to 13 different indicas that I had around that were my preferred smoke of the time. And I wound up narrowing that down to 5 releases out of the initial outcross that I did that I felt best represented what I was trying to do with the cross, which was create like a perfect, nice 50-50 hybrid of modern indicas to an older sativa-based strain,
So how many did you start with? And then you whittle them down to 5?
About 12 to 13.
12, 13. So that's what I tell people, because they come up with the boost and like, seeds are so expensive. You guys, if I have a plant that makes a million seeds, do you want to buy them? And I'm like, no, I don't want to grow them. But I tell them, like, so I'll get a list from my breeders, and I'll have 12 strains on it. But when I actually get the strains, there'll only be 5 that makes the cut. Like, a lot of these guys will just throw away strains, throw away bags of seeds, not because they're bad, not because they're not any good, just because they're not what the breeder was going for. And so, although, yes, the plant puts off a lot of seeds, but yes.
Exactly. I don't want to put out a line that's going to confuse people or make the job harder. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So a lot of people don't understand that. You guys throw away a lot of gear just to find the little few stuff that you do use.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just hit and run like most people think. A lot of people do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yes, I mean that's the problem. There's a lot of people out there, and then the sad part is that there's people who tell me like, "Oh, dude, that's the fastest shit that sells," and I'm like, "Really? That's not like it shouldn't be." But it's just that's how they're. That's all in the $30. The guys who want to it's all price guys. They want a price couch. So not necessarily that. I think with genetics, you got to just kind of like start figuring out what you like. That's kind of the most important thing.
I tend to have my little niche in the world that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hype things. I'm not a hype man. I don't bullshit. I'm a straightforward person, dude. What you see is what you get. And I think that's my niche. Just being a real person. You know what I mean? Making real things, not copying every other fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry out there.
No, it's a pretty easy thing to do, though. Just take his and his and cross them and sell them. You got your fucking breeder.
Hippocratic genetics, folks. Hippocratic genetics.
Right.
These guys' fucking sales are going to go through the roof, James. You got to stop talking about it.
I know.
Let them die.
His website's already down, so.
I know. We crashed it today, fucking sending over all the fucking goddamn traffic over there.
Oh, we crashed it all right, but not through that. Through CBS.
Through what? Huh? What? Huh? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
I think the recording cuts out there for about 15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. So, what's the next show for you? Obviously, Emerald Cup, you'll be down there. I mean, we'll see. Everyone will be at Emerald Cup, so I don't have to even ask. But is there anything else?
Chris is going to Emerald Cup.
Huh? No one's going?
No, I don't know if Chris is going. I can tell you all my guys are going.
Chris is going. Chris is going. Come on.
I'll be up there.
Of course.
I'll be up there. No booth, but I'll be up there. I don't have no gear. You guys have to last have it. I mean, I have a couple unreleased packs left.
Unreleased. Don't tell James about that. No, yell.
So hold those off.
I sell those for $200 a pack, and I don't really wholesale those at all, or else I would have offered those to you guys.
Nope. So I got a better idea for you. So hold on to them. So I got a website called Feedaholics. It's an auctioning site.
There you go.
It allows my breeders to pull packs out of their refrigerators and auction them and get the majority of the money for them. So you guys can sell them through us, and then they come from you, and there's no worry of shipping, and you guys get full pop on the money. And so, but yeah, we have the auction site, and then I'm talking with Hazel this year at Emerald Cup, and she's talking with us and ABSI, and we're going to try to do. We want to do it at the Country Carnival, but an actual live seed auction. And so every day, at like maybe 5 o'clock or 4:20, you guys, the breeders would have some rare packs that they have, and there'd be a thing, and they'd just
The only way I will participate is if you have an actual auctioneer like that.
Yeah, they're gonna. Of course.
With might I add, a baby midget auctioneer in a little suit too.
That's the only way.
Put that on the rider, please.
That is the only way I will participate in this buffoonery.
What if you exchange baby midget rider for golf cart?
A what?
Golf cart works too. Golf cart works too. I take that anyway. Like that.
I want a golf cart with a midget driver.
That's also good. That also works. I don't know if they like.
Wait,
I don't know if they like. I don't know if they like the
I'll
name
stop saying
midget. I was gonna say don't say midget.
I'll stop saying midget, but I will say this.
Yeah, there you
go. Little people need work. Most of them, there's actors.
Yeah.
They go. I'm serious. I'm being serious right now. They go out
as
actors,
yeah. This is where we get
and they
serious.
don't mind dressing up because that's how they get paid.
Right. But when they're at the bar, you just don't give them no shit. That's what I've always noticed.
Do I sound like a bad person now for saying that?
Yes. Terrible. Terrible person.
No, you're a nice guy.
You're the worst. You are the worst, bro. No, it was all right. It's fine. It's fine. Little people sounds weird to me, too. I don't think they like that either. I think that's just like, really? That's what you think I am? Little? Little sounds, well, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't like that.
Baby man works.
Baby man is not a good one. Baby man. Baby
Hey,
man.
baby man, get over here.
Right? Yeah, baby man's not
Baby
good.
man's busy, man. Baby man's not here.
So that's a good strain name though, except for not really, but for a breeder, for a little breeder, baby man breeder, my breeder, baby man. So anyway, so
What's the other one besides the mango? You have the Schmolians. I can't say it right, but
Schlemmens.
Schlemens.
Cross. And what's that?
That's a 2015 NorCal Cannabis Cup Best Sativa. Gorilla Glue 4 crushed to the Sean PSA male. That Sean PSA male leans all the way to the Colombian Gold Heritage and the Sharam. And it just, you can't even tell there's any Gorilla Glue in it. It's just all like lemon juice, funk, like gnarly shit.
Nice. Lemon's hot right now. Cool.
You have those seeds. The Cannabis Cup winner came out of 5 of those.
Well, there you go. And
so your odds are good. Good breeding. You got good odds of getting a winner.
Yeah.
so
Cool. Well,
all right. Well, so we're looking, and so what are people looking out for? Like we talked, because we didn't really get into details, but last time we talked with James, he was telling us about the break-in, which we talked a little bit about, and sucking, blah, blah. But is there certain packaging that wasn't properly put to, wasn't finished or something like that, or what was the deal with that? Is there something we should be looking for? If anybody wants to find that bullshit. The bullshit that you had ripped, that the only identifiable stuff would be and is there any like telltale signs of packaging where it wasn't didn't get finished or didn't have some sort of.
Well, I believe Chris said they all got his bulk, so they got
they got the bulk.
Baggie with 500,000 seeds, and so it's going to be.
Yeah.
From what he said, I think he said that they weren't even marked.
Oh, okay, well
they don't even know what the hell they have.
Oh,
yeah, those were 99% sold to some cartel growers or something. They're gone. They probably already got planted for this season.
Right. Okay. All right. So it wasn't like packaging at all.
They're gone. Yeah, dude. They're gone. All right.
It's another thing, though. It's something that breeders need to be vigilant about and keep an eye on. I mean, last year at High Times Cup, I know that a certain breeder lost $100,000 worth of gear. He went in to go eat dinner, and he comes out, and his van's been broken into. That same night, another breeder, dying breed, I believe, lost about that much, if not more, of their Skittles shit got stolen out of their thing. Same thing. They went to go eat, didn't put their shit in there. Somebody followed them back from the cup. So that's how I kind of wanted to have Chris on here, just kind of, have other people know that this is out there. Like, people will follow you. It's gotten into that kind of shit where they can, follow you back from the shows or to, protect yourself. Watch your ass.
Well, yeah, the fuckery is for real. But it always happens. There's always people looking for the easy targets and stuff like that. So you always have to be careful, of course.
So cool. Yeah, me and Archives have all that stuff available. Chris's drop is going to be live Monday at 4:20. We'll have all his strains that we just got from him. Now, being that he had just told me that I found out that these are the last of some for a very long while, I obviously won't go jack up the price, but I suggest people get in and get on it Monday, because I didn't get a whole bunch of them, but what we have is going to fly. It's the last that he did.
Good. Well, that's it. If you want to get the last of the last, there you go. Get it from him. Thanks for getting on this show with us, Chris. We'll see you, I'm sure, sooner than the actual Emerald Cup, but definitely there. And if you get anything crazy out there, just want everyone to jump on the show, feel free to give us a heads up.
For sure. Thanks for having me on, guys. And, I'll keep you guys posted if I get in any new projects. And I'll see you guys at the Emerald Cup. Keep in touch. Keep me posted for that, and I'll definitely have a couple different packs we can auction up.
Cool. Very, very cool.
Sweetness. All right, man.
Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go.
That was fun.
Always he's always fun.
Yes. What's he working on? That's my thing. He's got sounds interesting. Sounds very interesting. I'll have to think on it, but us both knowing Chris, it's not going to be something lightweight that you get stuck into it. It's probably going to have a lot of clout behind it. And they got him to put on a suit. They got Salmon Jr. to put on a suit. Then,
Right. Well, yeah, when it's somebody like that who's always like he's not he's not easily impressed guy. That's the thing. So it's good when somebody like that is like, dude, it's fucking it's happening, bro. Can't tell you. It's always that.
Especially where Chris is like, he has he's still part of the community and not the industry. And so he would be watching out for the community's best interest and making sure that these guys aren't just trying to screw somebody or screw over the breeders. Like, I'm sure he's taking the long run into account, which is, good to have that kind of thing. And what I've always said, how Oregon has really great laws, is because of the Sonny Chiba and Odie Diesel. Like, before the laws were written, they went in, they started the Genetics Preservation Society. Right. They paid lobbyists, which I call, fighting fire with fire. Mm-hmm. If the state gets lobbyists, then why don't we get lobbyists? Yeah. So they paid lobbyists, and they sat down with the governor, and Sonny sat down with him, in fact, and he's like, this is why you need seeds, this is why you need new genetics. And so they are the reason that Oregon has the most lenient laws as far as breeders, and you can have unlimited males, and you can have unlimited females, and, like for a breeder's perspective, instead of just having 12 plants I have to pick from, I can pick from 1,000? Really? Mm-hmm. The quality has just got to be up.
Sure. I mean, that's what it's going to all come down to now, is that we actually have ability to do selection in large scale numbers and things, which up until now has always been, occasionally done properly, but very rarely. And then usually, even if then, it has to get taken from wherever it's been done to the next spot, and that's always not the easiest. But it's all opening up, man. Things are changing, which is good. So you obviously are going to be doing a bunch of different events. You guys are always like spearheading 9 different things in 2 weekends or whatever. What's the next big one? How was actually, how was you did the hemp fest thing again?
So we just did hemp. Yep. So last weekend was Hemp Fest and Medford THC Fair.
Right.
Where were you? Of course, was I drew the short end of the stick, and I was in Medford.
Gotcha.
I get to go have fun in Hemp Fest. Hemp Fest is a lot of fun. There's a lot of all kinds of cool weed, all kinds of cool stuff. Right. But Medford, it was a little smaller show. But
right.
But yeah, Hemp Fest was good as usual. It's smaller than it had been in years past. But we were hoping that because of the regulations, we would do more business, and we saw probably about the same amount. But and then Medford was good, but we're at the weird season for people to buy stock. It's they've got most of their money invested in their crop in the ground or nutrients, and they're not really looking to pick up something that they're going to plant next year. So
I mean that's the thing about selling seeds in general. It is obviously seasonal to a point, but obviously indoors is year round. Right. For there's people everywhere who can do indoors and start whenever they want to. But if you're following any kind of cycles, there definitely is a high point. And for the most part, though, I was always surprised how little people kind of thought that way. It always seemed like there were more indoor growers just because of the fact that people just kind of, even though in Holland you'd be like waiting for it around Easter or something, like, why the fuck? Or sometimes people just wouldn't really bite too much. A couple people would come and roll through. But for the most part, there was a lot of times where it was like, people don't. But there's also like South America, of course, and fucking Australia and all that. So really depends where you're at. And a good indoor can produce 5 to 6 crops a year if you do it right. Well, where outdoor 4 to 5 is more realistic.
You got 2.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And there's a million reasons why, but at the same time, people are always clone prone. I would say, what I mean. That's the way they're always going to be like, oh man, I'd rather just get 20 plants from you and then not have to think about it. And then, that's always like, kind of like you've narrowed. You don't know what their selection is like, if they even had a selection to begin with, or if they got the clone from somebody else, and who
So there's
selected that.
impact, and you pick the first female.
Yeah.
And then as well is that clone is you're going to have the other 200 farmers around you also have the ability to buy that clone, which
Right.
is the same Doug clones, very same thing.
Hmm.
So you go to market and bring that to market, you've got to be better than the 6 other samples they've seen that day, and you've got to be cheaper.
Right.
Which with seeds, get proprietary to you, and you can name your price. If you get a purple dog shit that nobody else has, then until you give out a cut, it's yours, and they got to come to you to get it.
Yeah.
So.
And people kind of get that more often than they used to now, and also, I think, even though there's a lot of crappy crosses being done out there, there's still also like a lot of good starting material, and a lot of people are, just having like lucky out of the draw, luck out of the gate with some stuff, and people are quickly getting more savvy. I mean, you just see how much better people like. Doesn't matter where you go in America, almost people kind of know what good weed is, at least, or mostly, not everywhere, but mostly.
Yep, that and seeds have a taproot. That's the biggest thing I try to do is impose on people, especially if they're outside. Is that a clone will only give you a shallow fibrous root system. That's all it's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas seeds, you'll get a taproot every time. It's going to drill itself into the bottom. It's going to help feed itself. It's going to help water itself. Be more stable in the wind. And so, it's just kind of no brainer for us to test the back seeds. But
right, yeah. I mean, we definitely know the plant. I mean, like at my house, I have that same plant that was growing out of the ground. It's still there. It's starting to flower now. And it's just like growing right out of the crack of the ground. It's just like, look at that thing. It's
that one straggler that you showed me?
Yeah, at my house. Still going. It's flowering now. It's looking good. It's like it's actually healthy, and yeah, it looks great. It's like it's found it's set down a taproot deep enough to find some newts.
Yep.
It would not have worked with a clone. It would have definitely dried out. So that's the proof right there.
Yeah.
So you're
well, that's all I got from my side. Like I said, we
it?
got the big ethos drop right now.
Okay.
Everybody can get on. Next Monday we'll have the Source Genetics drop. We've got a new drop coming from Archive restock, and we'll have another restock on Exotic as well. So, and then in 2 weeks I got the confirmation from Leo today at Aficionado, and in 2 weeks we should have the rest of the Vanilla Berry Crunch, or the Vanilla Berry Pie, the VBP. It's sold out in like 15 minutes. We should have the other 1,000 packs of those, and then we'll be putting those out. So
nice. Okay, so in 2 weeks, I think we're having the GQ magazine chick who, I forget her name. Shouldn't say the word chick. That's terrible. Terrible. I'll find out. Yeah, but I'll be a little more PC when I figure it out.
Well, I'm not going to model for GQ if that's what they want.
I know. They heard James Bean, and they were like, yes, and then they were like, oh, maybe not.
Can you hold a joint for us and take a picture? No, I can't.
No. You can just use that one stock photo of me that they've used for everything. The first booth that I was ever at with you, which is like
one that I look completely shady at, and there's like a neon sign behind us. Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, yeah, it's just weird because they've used it in like Uruguay, and they've used it in weird things too.
I didn't use it. Reuters used it.
I know Reuters. That's what I'm saying. Reuters has used it for everything.
Yeah.
For like multiple different
Picked that bitch up and ran with it.
articles and stuff, and I'm like, isn't that? And people are like, isn't that you? And it's like, yep. It's because I look like I'm like could be some soldier or something. I don't know, it's weird because I have all
You look like Osama bin Laden.
at that moment in time, a little bit like Osama bin Laden, yes. So you have to look up cannabis. I don't know. What does it come up under? I don't even know. I don't pay attention to that one, but I know it pops up all the fucking time. So it's interesting. It's got the cannabis sign behind it. Anyway, whatever.
Yep.
So all right, well, James, we're gonna get rid of you because you got nothing left for us. But it's good. You got lots of specials. You got lots of specials. That's good. And we got to find out what's happening with our buddy over there, OG Kushman. That was good. And we got one giveaway, and didn't even get to put my image up because for some reason it kills our show. So we would have had to stop it, and it would have turned all sloppy doppy, which it's already sloppy. So
That's fine. Send people to your Facebook page. But yeah, that guy, just whoever it is, get a hold of us at info@seatsyournow.
Yep.
Let them know that they want the Chris thing, and we'll get them back.
Michael Philip Rodriguez. Right?
What?
What? The winner, our winner,
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Rodriguez himself. So, all right, cool. Thanks for
All right,
that.
cool, guys. Well, thank you very much for coming in. Like I said, shout out to my crew. Shout out to Seats Your Now guys, everybody at the packing warehouse and doing everything.
Yep.
Moving all the boxes through the always get all the gear. Much love to the Dunn Show and the people that make it happen. And I appreciate Chat Gang, as always, for staying in there. And holding down the
Hanging
bullshit
in
and asking
3
the
hours
questions,
of
you know.
just this, whatever, jibber jabber, jibber jabber.
This shit. Yep.
Yeah, it's so long.
But now it's on podcast, though, so download the podcast. You can listen to it whenever the fuck you want.
I know.
In the middle of the hills, when there's no other service, put it on the podcast.
That's actually the best part, too, because now that I like, whenever I'm trimming, which actually happened again, I was like, I'm trimming, I can't believe it. But then I was like, oh, cool, I have all these old podcasts I haven't actually listened to, which was dope. And it wasn't even me, of course. I wasn't listening to me. Can't do that. I can't listen to myself.
Your mom won't let you.
No, she won't. And it's so funny, guys. She was like, wah, wah. She's like fact checking my shit, and I'm like, well, yeah, okay, I'm doing a show. I might be a year off or two here or there or whatever. Yeah, you said you were a 7. You said you were 12. You were like 7. I'm like, all right, but sounds even worse if I start talking about weed when I was 7 instead of 12. Sounded a little more realistic, Mom. You know, so whatever. That's how it goes. But all right, cool, James. We'll talk soon and get
Bye,
you
guys. Have a
on
good day. I'll talk to you next week.
420 James Bean.
See you. Bye.
Later.
Peace. Man on the scene, James Bean. 420 whatever hour, power, something.
Yep.
Yep, that's how it rolls around here. Thanks for hanging in there with that one. I think we're kind of wrapping it up. I don't know if we got anything else crazy happening. Anything happened in the news that did you? Nah, you know, nothing. KTI's not around. Nobody looks at the news. Show's just completely collapsed. It's a collapse. Is anything major happen? Oh, they're gonna give out the 300 things around here. I saw that. But we're totally.
Oh, yeah, the clubs, right?
The smoking quags, yeah. So it's going to be really expensive and very limited.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah. So we're too close to a school, so we don't qualify.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep.
That one there.
Right down the way.
Right over there.
Yep.
Right, man. Well, we don't smoke weed here anyway, so it never happens.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely never happens. I think in 2 weeks we got that one girl on here when they did the GQ, and she had interviewed Mowgli from Phylos, so it was going to be like a little wrap up. We were going to bring Phylos in and kind of deconstruct her, because her whole deal was, and I guess we'll put a link up on the Adam Dunn Show so people can check it out. I'll have Cece put that up, but it's pretty cool. It's good because it's written from somebody who doesn't, it's not an insider, but it is showing you how they're just like literally waiting to just tear it all up. So industry's about to get weirder. Could it get weirder? Yes.
Of course.
Will it? Yes. What else? Anything else? No, that's about it. How was your week off?
It was good, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Just went to Arizona, chilled out.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that in the beginning. Anything else? Anything else happen? Oh, so wasn't something crazy down? You were going to do something crazy when you showed me. I was like, oh, really? Was there no?
No, I ended up disc golfing through the eclipse. That was kind of cool.
Could you see from there anything?
It was it was kind of lame. Like as far as like, yeah.
Here was weird because I probably was good if they had glasses and everything, but I just didn't like. I just kept looking out and checking it out and then looking straight up at it. No, I didn't even do that. I tried to do the phone thing, that didn't work, and then I went and did the cereal box deal.
Right, yeah.
Old school, where you have it over your shoulder.
It was cool to just see all the crescent moon shadows off of the trees and stuff like that.
See
that was pretty cool.
I didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
That was probably the coolest thing.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. That's what looked coolest to me when people posted those. Like, yeah, that looks pretty dope.
Yeah. Yeah, that was about it.
And it did feel like kind of darker and weirder for like a little bit here. Didn't it get like?
It was kind of hard to tell there because it was cloudy anyway. So the sun kept going in and out. And then when it was happening, like I kind of saw it. Some guys had some glasses at the store there's a disc golf store on the 9th hole of this
Yeah.
one, and this guy had glasses. I kind of looked at it, and then that was it.
That was a huge experience. Yeah, no, it's funny because a lot of people I know went there and they were just like, oh my God, like went up to Oregon or to Wyoming
Right.
or whatever. And just fucking still blown away, you know what I mean? Like, ah, dude,
Right.
it was amazing. Which I'm sure it was. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But luckily it does happen a lot. It's not like you just have to be at the right place. It won't
Yeah.
happen in your house. You can like walk outside or drive 200 miles. But yeah, you know, just find when it's at a good spot, you go like, all right, I'll go there and check that out, and then
Yeah.
go experience.
I'm sure it'll spark a travel boom for the next one in 7 years.
Oh, I think it's so 24 or something. No, I thought it was. Is it?
I think it's 2024.
Hmm.
So it's that would be, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's, exactly. Where is that? Tokyo or something like that? Or?
No, it's gonna be. I guess it's gonna go through like Illinois and like
Oh,
the
really?
northern East Coast. Like,
Oh, that's you can't just drive the road. That's easy.
Yep.
I thought that was gonna be like another like long distance.
No. The next couple ones are gonna be visible through North America.
So
I
it's just
guess.
kind of like that, probably moving like
Right.
across. That's cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. We get to go through. Like, did you hear about Amazon selling all the fucking fake glasses?
Yeah, and they got recalled or whatever.
I wonder who got burnt. That's weird though, because it's like, you know, you think like all the hype, someone's gonna get it.
Oh yeah.
I didn't really hear about it. Did you hear anybody?
No.
Except for the president.
Yeah, that was hilarious, dude.
That was
I
hilarious.
just saw that picture. I just head slap. I was just like, wow.
I saw it and then I thought it has to be fake because I was like, no, he would never have done that. You know what I mean? And I
Right.
went and watched it and I was like, oh my God.
He actually did
It's real, dude. That is nuts. Yeah.
Right.
No, that was pretty funny. Well, okay. There's not much in the big news department except for that crap. Bitcoin's fucking going off the charts. That's nuts. Every time I look, it's like thousands. It's like now it's at 43 or something like that. 43.60. I was like, holy fuck. So too bad. I just watched all the money I could have made if you actually invested some money, which is funny.
Right.
Everybody's like, dude, still not gonna. Now it's at such a high fucking number. Nobody wants to do it, right? Like, who the fuck wants to come in at that price? You know?
Yeah. Right.
Crash. Waiting for the crash. Anyway, I want to give a big shout out to my mom down at the farm with Andy and Tim and Murray. It's that, you know, that difficult time. Oh, it's so much work.
Oh yeah.
Trimming
For
sucks.
sure.
Trimming sucks,
I don't mind it.
but whatever.
No.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done, right?
Absolutely.
It's got to be done.
Yep.
Actually, I have a t-shirt. Trim crew. Done trim crew.
There you go.
Get her done.
Get her done.
It's got to be done. Oh no, when it has to be done. Shout out to my beautiful wife Cece and little Nick, who is finished his first week of school, which is pretty awesome.
That's
First week of kindergarten. So that's like major accomplishment. And he's already like you know, first couple days kind of weird, which is of course weird for everybody.
Sure.
And he had to sit still, and it was fucking going nuts. And then now he's kind of got a bunch of friends already, and he's got play dates already set up. And, you know,
Nice.
it's like okay, it's happening. Where it's like he's got like, you know, hey Nick, oh, now he knows, everyone knows, you know. So
Right.
it's good.
Yeah, they ease into it.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, but it's funny. And so anyway, that's our whole week was, you know, oh my God, I gotta have to go to school myself. Just like
Yep.
getting up to do that is crazy. It's been so long.
Yeah, we were getting up at 5 a.m. as the for same.
Yeah, 5. That's rough. Yeah,
Yeah.
We're doing. Like,
Well, you guys live down the street.
Yeah.
So yeah, that doesn't. No, it's not the situation over here.
no, that's
So-
rough. That's rough.
Yep.
Yeah, that drive would definitely be a killer.
Yep.
And let's see. Yeah, we got some new sponsors coming on deck. It looks like finally. I mean, we've talked about it forever, but I think we can do because got some room left in there with those 4 sponsors that we have right now. But I think we'll do that official announcement hopefully by next week. Because is it next week going to be after the 1st or no? Is it?
I think so, actually.
Really? This is
Yeah, because the 31st is a Thursday.
Holy Shinoli. So it's going to be a new month next month. Well, this is the last show this month. So yeah, we'll have a new sponsor on deck, I believe, for next, and a main sponsor too, which is exciting because then that means there's going to be content and making them do videos. We're going to go all nuts. It's going to be nuts, dude.
Sweet.
It's going to look almost quarter professional.
Hell yeah.
Quarter is enough.
Wow.
And I want to thank all the people listening and checking on the Facebook for the incredible contest, which was like right away. I was like the most predictable person, like right out of the gate. Okay, there you go. And at least it wasn't my mom. I remember she was like, "Yeah, it's a picture of you," of course. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week. Keep an eye out for the guest list for this next week. For 2 weeks from now, I'll also post that. We got that one kind of figured out. I think we're starting to get our lineups kind of figured out, but I never have it written down, so I have no idea. Unless it's something that's super obvious. But see you next week.
See ya.
Peace.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it